Dígwech agus fáilte is stock. Welcome to the Grumpy Bro Show, our monthly endeavour to bring you our favourite news, views, and muse. As ever, I'm joined by the one and only Corkonian worth listening to, the one, Stone XB.
Hello, everybody.
To the bottom left of your screen, a man who needs little to no introduction, so he's not bloody getting one, Ferrigan 101.
How are we all doing?
And finally, a man who fully understands that cool kids never have the time, Mr. Fancy Dan.
I just don't want to play anymore. It's terrible.
So before we crack into it, some of the topics that we're going to cover today include the next-gen launch and hardware shortages, which is massive. Christmas time, because, you know, hats and antlers and stuff. Black Friday. And there might be one or two bits of news about new show announcements in there somewhere.
Ooh.
Some other random news and views. And in a new venture, the hot topics will be time-stamped in the description. So there we go. Ready to rock and roll. Boom. Boys, how are we?
Didn't spill my beer this time, so we're off to flying start.
Flying start.
I was watching that.
Flying
start.
Pretty good point pull there, yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a good start. We'll take that.
We will. That's about as good a start as we're going to get. Everybody keeping good. Anything fresh, lads, before we kick off?
All good. All good this end.
It's almost the end of 20, I should say. It's almost the end of 2020. It's so close.
God, 2020's been an awful year, hasn't it? Just in terms of everything. Everything and anything. God.
Yeah.
It has been both the slowest and fastest year that I think I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
The sooner we see the back of it, the better. I believe some of us are finished up our working life for the year.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
Lucky
Some of us
bastards.
still have some time left, but not too much, so at least there's that.
Oh, that beer looks good.
Yeah, it's badly muttered. And like I've places to go later now, and there's beer under the table, and I just like.
Oh. Same.
You should get an Uber, drive you around
Yeah.
for the day.
Yeah, they have those around here, yeah.
Perfect.
Or I could just say to ourselves, you're driving.
That's it. Yeah. It's just the state of my liver, but I just don't understand how alcohol lasts in a house that long. It's like, and the fact that you still have beer in your house, it's weird.
Okay, I'm going to kick this one off by saying, because I know all of our viewers, a very, very grumpy, but also happy and Merry Christmas or holiday, if that's your particular venture. From us to you, thanks for the support that you've shown so far, and long may it continue. So now we're going to crack into some news topics, headlines, and everything that grabbed us from the last 4 weeks or so.
Yeah, 4 weeks.
All right. Starting with the next gen console launch, how's it going?
Great.
Again. Yeah, great. Yeah, brilliant,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, spent a good bit of time with the old Series X now, and I'm actually playing it more than the PC recently. More from the point of view that it lives in a room with a stove, and it's just nice to fire up for a 10-minute blast while there's something else happening and put it back. So yeah, still really enjoying it.
Is that stove the actual Xbox Series X?
No,
just wondering, because I've heard rumors about the heat.
no, that's my 360. That's
It's a 360. Alright. That's the fun one.
OG 360, is it? The white one.
Yeah.
Man.
I
I mean-
know it's going good for you, but there's still no consoles to get anywhere. Like, they're in really short supply.
Yeah.
But as Brendan Gray says, like, you know, I've had my fun, and that's all that matters, isn't it?
No.
I say they're in really short supply. You can get them if you don't mind paying like €1,000 for a Series X or a PS5.
Yeah, it seems to be madness. Like one of the lads there was offered money at the checkout, like when he was collecting his, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, he was
Okay.
walking out the door. He was offered what, 650 quid cash on the
Yeah.
spot. And you have to imagine that this fella was just walking around with a couple of grand in his pocket, trying to bag 4 or 5 of them, and then flogging them
Resell
out
them.
for 850, 900 quid.
Yeah,
No, he was maybe buying one for his kid's Christmas, like.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was, yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly what was happening. Mm-hmm.
Now, I know you're being very cynical there, but you have to remember that there hasn't been large attendance to sporting events, and ticket scalpers need to make a living somehow. And if it's not with tickets, it's got to be at the PlayStation. So think of the children. Just think of the scalpers' children.
I mean, like you can't go and see a live concert or anything either, yeah. So Poor old fellas have to make a living some way.
Just thinking as like live concert, but if COVID gets any worse, it could be a dead concert at this stage.
Right.
Jeez.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. No, but in general, I really don't like scalpers. I don't like scalping.
No,
I have no tolerance for it.
You'd have to wonder if you weigh it up on balance, though. You know, like, fair enough, everyone's been home all the time. Like, most people have been working, like, to some degree. Like, so there is more cash around. No one's gone on holidays. No one's gone to weddings. No one's gone to anything. So, like, is this just people with more disposable money to throw around as well that's kind of feeding the fire?
Plus, could well be, yeah.
You know?
Well, there's more actual gamers being registered on Steam and PlayStation Network and Xbox Network this year than there's ever been. It's literally a case of people being locked at home and, as you're saying, more disposable income being introduced to gaming.
Yeah.
You know?
Folk like ourselves.
In the long run for gaming. Yeah, exactly. It's like in the long run for gaming, it's going to be good. It's going to a load of new people joining who've never played games before. But for people who are hardcore gamers or who, you know, enthusiastic gamers who are looking for the new hardware, it's kind of a bit shit for them because they can't get it because all the new people jumping into the market.
Yeah.
You know?
The thing about it is, if you're somebody who's working from home, for argument's sake, and you have nowhere to go in the evening, so I don't know how much I don't have kids, so I don't know if like sports things in the evenings and all were cancelled for a long period of time. I believe there's some of them were back open again recently, but if you had the whole summer there with, you know, kids at home, so you're there 9 to 5 every day, you're working from home, and then you have nowhere to be, nowhere to go, nowhere to bring anybody after 5, between whatever 5 and 8, I assume, are probably the times. You have 4 or 5 hours in the evening to fill, and then if you work Monday to Friday, you have 12-14 hours of a Saturday and a Sunday to fill up with time. And so the easiest and simplest option is, here's a few games, go play them. You know, and I see that could be a potential reason for why we have, you know, so many shortages of hardware and all that, because people went bananas building PCs. Some people built them for themselves, granted, like everyone here, but some people may have built PCs for their kids and stuff, especially over the summer where there was so little to actually do. Because you couldn't even go anywhere. You couldn't even pack up the car and go to the beach or anything because, you know, couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Didn't stop a lot of people.
Well, no, I mean, like
No,
I
it
say,
did
you
not.
couldn't. You weren't supposed to do it.
Yeah. If you were being a good boy and girl, you wouldn't do it.
Exactly, yeah.
But if you're from Dublin, you would.
But to be fair, now, did the average person who did that, like, I doubt they'd put together a PC, really, to be fair, would they?
Well, no, but they could have bought pre-builts.
Did pay someone to do it for him.
Yeah. It's just potential. That could also explain, I guess, the shortage for console hardware, because so many people just went out of their way to buy one. You know, in line of nothing else, quite literally, to do. And I know even during the winter, like, you still have the likes of the rugby and probably the late stage soccer, probably the late stage hurling, football, all that jazz usually does continue to happen, but now not so much.
Still a funny thing with gaming too, like, is like we're all obviously at it since our teens or beyond that, like, no, but it does genuinely surprise me when I meet an adult grown man in the wild and he mentions that he plays games. It's like, really? I thought I was the only one.
Yeah.
There's more of us out there.
I specifically remember getting bullied for liking games. How was that?
Yeah. It was kind of a thing you never really said. Two things that I never said when I was younger is I play games and I like wrestling. And now I'm like, yeah, I play games and I like wrestling. Like, I take the day off work after WrestleMania every year. I watch WrestleMania without fail every year, and I've done that for the last probably 15 years. And I watch it with a group of people. Last year we watched it on Discord or Skype or something like that. It was a really weird experience. Hopefully we can get together and do it this year. But yeah, I see your point that you don't really make you don't hold a placard up that says I'm a gamer. You know, you're not like that. I play games in my spare time.
I don't know, strangely in my work, I've met a lot of guys and girls around my age and younger that are all into gaming, you know, heavily into gaming. So it's definitely becoming more mainstream.
I think it's a question too of people finding what they like. Like, herself there now, like, she would be the first person shooters as that, like, but before she goes to bed every night, there's a few rounds of Frozen Free Fall played, or Tetris would always be a contender as well, like, you know. Anyway,
Mrs. Ferrigan was well into World of Warcraft back in the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
She won't play anything else unless it's on her phone. But
Mrs. Foxer spent a lot of time playing Division 1, believe it or not.
yeah,
Really?
Yeah. She was really into it. At the time, she used to play one of the what are those racing games? The ones on PlayStation.
Wipeout.
No, the other one. The
Ridge Racer.
No, keep going. Need for Speed. She used to play Need for Speed Underground a lot as well on the PlayStation 3.
Need for Speed. Was it Underground 2? The one that had the great soundtrack, Riders in the Storm, it just mixed with Snoop Dogg. Oh, great.
Still no GTA soundtrack.
Well, the way the GTA is going soon, that won't have a soundtrack.
Yeah.
Was it San Andreas? They removed half the songs because they ran out of license for it. They updated the game without permission, and people logged on the next day, and like half the radio stations had half the content.
Yeah.
Look, such is the way. You need to probably buy big mucho year licenses to get these things going. Anyway, I digress. Speaking of consoles and next gen launches, the next gen patches starting to roll out. I see there's a 17 gig patch or something for CyberPunk just rolled out in console as well.
Well, we can get to that later, but
no, patches are starting to roll out is where I'm going, and I suppose you're kind of looking at it from the perspective now of, is your 4K 60 TV good enough for the new generation consoles?
do I need a new TV? No.
No.
Do I want a new TV?
Yes.
Yeah.
Always. Even if you buy a brand new TV, you kind of go, maybe I should have got the one that's slightly bigger.
Yeah, well, the second you get home with a new TV, you put it up on the wall, you sit down, you watch it, you turn it on, and you're back onto PC World or wherever it was you got it from looking at. Now, next one will be the OLED or the QLED or whichever it is. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that prompted this was Destiny 2 dropped their next gen upgrade. So bumped it to 4K and 60 frames per second. And it is night and day. It's like, it's a different game entirely. And the Crucible supports up to 120 frames per second, as does Warzone. So here we are now with 60 hertz tellies. And the tellies are starting to hold the consoles back.
Yeah.
Mad.
What a time to be alive.
But I don't understand. The eye can only see at 24 frames per second. What? How can you see 120 frames? Sorry.
As I get older, I realize that these numbers really don't mean much for someone of my pedigree, because I'm never really going to notice a change between 60 frames per second and 120 frames per second.
Funny you mentioned that. On PC, you locked Warzone at 1440 60.
Yeah, 2K 60. Yeah, that was more for recording issues.
But I followed suit and I did the same for recording issues as well. But I have yet to notice a difference. I didn't get any worse, but I didn't get any better. But I didn't get any worse at Warzone because of the drop in frames.
Yeah.
So I can only.
I will say, huge difference between 30 and 60.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it is night and day between 30 and 60, but 60 to 120, not especially. Like,
I don't know, 60 seems to be the sweet spot. If you can get like visual fidelity at 60.
That's what it came down to really for me, was can I play on high or ultra at 60 frames per second?
Go on, Ben. Go on.
No, you're all wrong. You're all wrong. Oh my god! Oh, it hurts! It hurts so much. But no, it's okay. The fact that you're at 60 frames per second, Foxer, just so long that you said you never needed faster frames, you got to 60 now. It's just going to be a little bit longer. I'll get you into the triple digits.
Well, no, I'd happily have it at 144 if it performed, and I have every other game at 144. It's just specifically Warzone, particularly Warzone. I play Destiny at much higher frames. Destiny is
play Destiny at 120, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Destiny
Again,
for me, it's about 140.
like my monitor's 144, but I locked Destiny at 120 purely for recording reasons again, but because it's a multiple of 60. So
Yeah, it's just playing it on the console was just like, okay, I'm quite like Destiny 2, but Jesus, those loading times, and then the second you hit it on PC, it's like, my God, it's just look at all the frames. Oh, it's
Try
so
it on
pretty.
Stadia.
actually,
But
jumping from, because first of all, I went from Xbox to Stadia playing Destiny 2, and I couldn't believe how quick the loading times were on Stadia. And then I started playing on PC, obviously, over the last little while, and I don't think I could go back to playing that on Xbox. No, and same with Warzone as well.
Next gen, maybe I could.
But yeah, maybe.
Like, Series X, but I don't. I would, especially after playing on Stadia, where the load times are so much better than even PC. But PC has probably slightly better visual clarity, or at the very least, you can fine tune it. So obviously, with Stadia, you're kind of locked. You're either 4K or 1080. With and often it doesn't stream at 4K. And it drops down to 1080p, and that's fine because it still plays really well. But with PC, at least you can lock it at a certain frame. You can tweak it so that you get that visual fidelity that you're looking for. So I would struggle to go back to console. I would happily play it on Stadia, but my preference would be PC, probably.
So
Basically, what?
Oh no, go ahead.
No, basically, the sooner they bring out crossplay for Destiny 2, the better.
Fact.
Yeah, because honest question, because now I've only played Stadia when it's first launched, and I noticed a lot of lag and so on, and got a decent internet connection. So from the sounds of things, you guys aren't getting hit with like lag in the game when you're playing it.
I've never. I could count on one hand the amount of times I've had bad lag. Now that would be playing in the house on a 250 down connection wired to the Chromecast. But even saying that, I would play it up in bed, which is on Wi-Fi with the Chromecast Ultra, and still no real lag. Like, that would be over a 5 gigahertz connection, though.
Ruined the whole flow. I have two Stadias. I have one wired. I have one wireless. Funnily enough, the wireless one actually has a more stable connection than the wired one for some bizarre reason. I don't know why. I can't figure that out. It's closer to the router. That shouldn't make a difference because one is wired. But I played.
Does your wired one go through the home plugs?
Home plugs.
It is through the home plugs, but it was.
That'll be what it is about you.
It was fine. So I don't know why. Maybe I just fucking unplug it and plug it back in again. Might solve it. But to answer your question in the most roundabout way I can possibly go, Dan, I did not get any. I played both yesterday. I got no drops and no lag. I played Destiny on both yesterday.
Oh yeah, that's pretty impressive. Now I've played the Xbox one, and I actually quite like that. But I didn't notice any issues with that one. But that's because Xbox got massive infrastructure.
Yeah, Google have a massive infrastructure as well, though. That's the thing, Google have loads of money.
I do think we're not far away from they opening up the settings in the console and stuff for texture quality and stuff like that to let you pick and choose yourself. There's
Definitely.
There's a few in Destiny there now. You've got an FOV slider and a few other bits and pieces. So I think it's only a matter of time before they're being developed in PCs anyway. They're essentially small PCs. So I think soon enough you're going to get to choose yourself.
Yeah. The second the original Xbox just threw a hard drive in there, and this is it. They're turning into PCs. It's like, and it's just, which is a good thing.
Well, it is. It's a custom built PC, really. And with a custom OS. That's basically it. I mean, it runs on the skinned Windows 10, basically. A variant of the kernel at the very least. So they're mini PCs. It's great because consoles are finally catching up to that kind of power level that PC users would have had for the last. And I'm not going to start a war here by saying this, but they would. It is catching up. It's so much easier now to justify buying a console, even if it is 500 quid, and saying, well, at least I get that same level of visual fidelity or similar, with textures and all that jazz. So it is. It's a great time to be alive.
If you're getting 4K 60 on a console for 500 quid,
ridiculous.
you would be hard pushed to build a PC for that money.
Mm-hmm.
That'll do the same.
I could do. Yeah, because I mean the Xbox Series X, like that gave me Red Dead Redemption at 4K at basically 60 frames, I think.
Yeah.
60 frames, and that's impressive because my PC would still struggle to do that to a degree. Don't get me wrong, it'll be higher quality images and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
on PC.
Red Dead Redemption 2 ran like a three-legged dog on console or on PC, didn't it?
I don't know.
Unless
I've
you
never
had,
played on
like,
PC.
Top of the range hardware. It was
Yeah.
really struggled.
Well, Rockstar's never been really good with the stuff that they bring to PC, to be honest with you.
GTA 5 is fine, I think.
Not at launch though.
Well, no, just
It didn't launch on
That's
PC, and it didn't come out
No,
on PC
no.
for nearly a year and a half after.
That was it when they released their first-person upgrade, so the consoles can now buy it again.
See, GTA, they've added another whole island and a new heist stuff like that there as well.
Is that the Casino Island, or is that something else? Because I remember they
Uh,
released a casino recently.
They did the casino heist. Like it's mad. Like the Rockstar take television ads for free DLC.
Hmm.
That's how big. That's how big the wallet is there, and how
Well-
big the gravy train is on that.
Considering they're making billions
I'm
at
assuming
the
they're still making millions and billions selling
Shark
in
cards.
game. Yeah, the shark cards, the in-game
Shark
currency.
cards.
moment. Oh my god,
Absolutely.
absolute mint they must be making. Like, because they haven't released like even a hint of GTA 6.
No,
like,
yeah. What was the last game Rockstar actually released?
Red Dead
Red
Redemption.
Dead.
Red Dead. Yeah.
And then before that, GTA, it would have been GTA 4, wasn't it?
5.
5.
5. Well, no, before 5, I should say, was so there's 5, Red Dead Redemption 2. So what was before 5? Was GTA 4, or was there?
Red Dead
or-
Redemption, I'm just reading here, it was released 21st of May 2010. And Grand Theft Auto 4, if I can find it, was released GTA 4. GTA
2008.
4 2008, yeah, so Red Dead Redemption was before 5 and after 4.
Yeah, I do miss the days when Rockstar would release actual expansions, though. Like the Ballad of Gay Tony, and it was so good. That was such a great just add-on. And we've just been nothing like that for GTA 5. It's all been online stuff, and the same at Red Dead
Yeah.
too.
There's been no story content. I know you can buy I actually saw it on the Epic Store the other day. You can buy the Red Dead Redemption online for £5 if you want to buy it separately, which is a good idea, but I don't know if there's enough in it to justify even £5.
To be honest with you, paying to play that game is just not. It's already pay to win, and you're jumping into a game where people have dropped lots of money to get the best guns already.
Yeah,
You know,
the people who are playing that seem to really like it. But anything I've heard about it is just, I know, it's like you pay to take jobs, and you pay to do this, and you pay to do pay to grind.
I'd happily pay money to play the original Red Dead online.
Oh,
again.
Oh, the Undead pack as well.
Oh yeah, Undead Nightmare. Fact. Great game. And moving on from talking about bad launches to bad launches. CyberPunk. And it's
Inaminis Patris Ingo.
Well, I believe, and I'm going to say this right now, I believe if we were to go back and look at the previous Grumpy show, that Mr. Stone XB made a point that he said he bets that Cyberpunk runs like a dog on the OG consoles, so the Xbox One and the PS4. And I believe he has proven to be 100% correct.
Indeed.
Yeah. It's even. I don't even know if that was what's holding it back, because they admitted they never even were really testing on that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
they didn't pay any attention to it.
We focused on PC, we're sorry. Like our investor call. Did anybody read the notes from the investor call?
I
That's-
didn't. Yeah.
The first question out of whoever they were talking to, the board, I presume, like it was like, so how will this affect the sales? And then it's like, and how much money has gone out on the refunds, and how much is this, how much is that? Fuck all about the reputation of the game or anything like that.
Yeah.
But that's shareholders. Like, they only care about now.
Bottom dollar.
It's all about the bottom line.
And that's fair enough. But like, you would think that that's behind closed doors business. Like that was posted on CD Projekt Red's website. Like, why would you let them see how the sausages are made? Like,
The funny, it's funny, but that gets posted, but the testing process for all those consoles, was kept hidden for ages, and there was no release. What do you call them? No reviews for those the OG consoles. Now, don't get me wrong, they were old hardware 7 years ago when they were released. So it's the fact that, even The Witcher 3 ran on them was impressive, let alone this new game to come out.
There's a lot of, I suppose, if you look at the likes of Reddit and that, a lot of people are speculating that the way that they run on the Series X and Series S probably as well, and the PlayStation 5, it's not a next-gen game, but it's a last-gen game upscaled. Yeah. Is how people are viewing it. That they don't, that perhaps they've patched in, certain textures and all that jazz to make it look better, but it's not actually a next-gen game. Because it's not even a next-gen game on PC for all the world. I saw Linus did his DLSS and the other thing that Nvidia have, and he was like, he could see all this noise in the car that he was driving around, and he found the perfect settings for it, but it still wasn't picture perfect, if you know what I mean.
And you see, the weird. No, I can't. I think what's kind of getting lost in all this with the bugs is is it actually a good game? Like, just say you ran it on a PC that was performing perfectly, no bugs. Is it any good? Is the story good? Is the mechanics good? Because, like, I was saying to you the other night, like, I had a real urge to buy Deus Ex Mankind Divided because, like, it seems to tick all the same boxes, and it definitely works.
See, it's kind of the same thing I said about The Witcher 3. Is basically, I think CD Projekt Red make these amazing worlds, but the main story, they're not very good at making RPGs, which sounds weird because The Witcher 3 is one of the biggest RPGs, but it's just story-wise, the main story in The Witcher 3 it's actually not very good, because most of the time, if it was really good, you wouldn't be sidetracked by 200 hours of Gwent. So I was like, oh, let's go. I must save my daughter. However, I would like to play a game of cards for the next 4 hours.
I think that says more about you than anything else. Really.
Yeah, that's true. I thought the main story was pretty good now, to be fair. But it was more the fact that all the side content wasn't just kill 3 rats in the basement and come back to me and all that crack. Like, it was all pretty good. Like,
but that's it. Like, their side missions, they make these really good short stories that like you get involved in, and they actually have an effect in the world. Like, for me, Witcher 3, the thing that lasts in my head is always the Baron quest. That's in my head. That's still the part that was the most impressive of that game. Whereas in the story, it's kind of going, I don't want to play a Ciri again. Oh, it's not her again.
How far through CyberPunk are you, Dan?
I don't want to do any spoilers, but
have you completed the first act?
Yes, I have. Because I quite like Don't Wrong. There's a really good moment in that, and I just went. But now that you mention it, there's this really beautiful, touching moment where this guy's meant to take his chip out of his head and give it to you. That's not any spoilers. Yeah. But my version, I don't know how about you. My version, the chip didn't load in graphically. What loaded in graphically for the chip was a Magnum handgun. So he was pulling a Magnum. He pulled a Magnum handgun out of his head and says, "Put this in." And you're like, "This is meant to be this beautiful, touching moment," and you're going, "Oh no, what?" So it's like,
well,
but at the same time, I really. Oh, go ahead.
The first 5 minutes of me playing it is when you go down to the noodle bar or the sushi bar or whatever, and you meet him. Yeah. And you're sitting there, and he's eating his noodles, and then he puts his noodles down with his chopsticks down, but his chopsticks are just sitting in front of his face, floating around like this. And I was like, this is the first 5 minutes in. Oh God, no! Please don't tell me it's going to be a buggy, glitchy mess. And unfortunately, it was a buggy, glitchy mess.
And the same thing happens with Johnny Silverhand. Is like he'll be smoking cigarettes and he throws it away, and it just stays floating there, and you're just in between the two of you. You're going. Yeah.
I've stopped playing it. I've stopped playing it at the moment. I'm hoping that it'll get a little bit of a patch, because it really pulls me out. Like, just after the first act, you have to go and meet somebody in a cafe, and I said it in the chat during the week there. It's meant to be this. You're meant to be like furthering the story and all this and whatnot, and you're sitting at this table with this other character, but in the background, all the NPCs. Or have you ever watched a video of a cat sitting on a Roomba? How it just floats around the floor. Like that. That is exactly what the NPCs were doing. They were just floating. They weren't walking. They were just standing there like that, floating.
Yeah.
As if they were on a freaking Roomba.
Same going around like this.
Yeah.
I've only encountered a T-pose once. But saying all of that, I will say I'm actually really enjoying it. Because it is, as much as Human Mankind Divided is a good game, and as much as is that the first one or is that the second?
Second,
Human Revolution was good games. They were very limited, as in this is a very small map. You can do lots of stuff on this small map, and this is another small map, and this is another small map. You can do lots of things on those small maps. There's nothing, to be honest, there is actually nothing like Cyberpunk just jumping into a car and just cruising through an actual Cyberpunk city. Yeah. Especially at night time, the rain starts coming down. It's beautiful. Some of the music on the radio is awesome.
Look, when it's not glitching out, it does look good, and the tunes in it are really good. I will admit that my character's storyline was kind of losing me a bit, and I'm glad that I got to the Keanu Reeves bits, Johnny Silverhand bits, because
how do the missions work then? It's like, is it a case of you're out in the open world and you meet Mr. whoever, he gives you your quest, and then does it load into kind of like a curate, like Destiny does? You know, it kind of loads you into like a mini mission. Or is it all open world? Like
it's kind of all open world, yeah.
Yeah, it's all open world.
Your phone goes, you get a text message, whatever, or you can like walk up to a fixer in the street and get a job. Or
it reminds me a bit of Grand Theft Auto, the way that you get the missions.
Yeah, that was
very reminiscent of that. Like Grand Theft Auto 4, where hey, come bowling, I'm at the bowling alley, that kind of thing, where the phone rings and you go and do your thing. That's what it's like. It
is very organic, and I actually had a really cool moment there yesterday. Now, once again, no spoilers. Basically, you can overhear people talking, and it's normally in any other game you'd walk by, but you overhear these people talking, listen to their conversation. Once they finish, then you go, oh, you can actually talk to these people, and then they go, oh, we're just worried about this guy, and you go, and you can come back and talk to him later, but no any spoilers here, but if you take too long, a certain effect will happen if you don't go back to the person, and it's like, and it's just very.
There's two endings to that mission, isn't there?
There's a few other missions I've encountered like that, which is like you would not have actually got that mission if you didn't stop and listen, and so I understand that it's a very buggy world, but it does feel like a better world than GTA 4, you know what I mean? GTA 4 or 5, you got your mission, and that's it. You get your waypoint, and you do that. And there's no really.
I was walking around the other day, and after finishing the first act, and I climbed up to the top of this building. I was just having a look out and whatever, and I walked around the corner on the roof, and all of a sudden, Johnny Silverhand just appeared out of nowhere. He's like, "Whoa, look at that!" And I thought that was, because it's an open world, I wasn't expecting it. Like, I thought that's pretty cool that they've coded it so that he just appears out of nowhere, when you're not expecting it.
Yeah, did you ever play Batman Arkham Knight?
Yeah, not actually, no.
Yeah, there's a really cool element to that in that.
Is that with the Joker? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I loved it. Apart from I played it on PC, and it was a biggest buggy. The funny thing is everybody's slating Cyberpunk for a buggy mess, but it is on consoles, but it's not as bad on PC. But my God, Arkham Knight on PC is officially the buggiest game I ever played, and I am after just playing Cyberpunk. But Arkham Knight, yes, very cool moments.
Just to go back to frames per second for a minute, I'm only managing to get between 40 and 50 FPS at 2K. On the PC.
What I will say is I was roughly the same. AMD released 2 new drivers recently, and I got to the latest one, and I am hovering around just above 60 at high. At high.
I'll need to.
It does drop every now and again. I mean, it's sorry, just to go back to the whole RPG thing again. It's the same issue I had with The Witcher 3 is in the fact like when The Witcher 3 is like I am Geralt of Rivia. I think Ronan's frozen, has he? Oh, there he goes back.
He had, and it looked really funny.
It's like I'm Geralt of Rivia. I'm the most powerful hunter of monsters. Okay, let's go to the left a bit. Oh, here's a ghoul. I should be able to fight him. No, but you see, Geralt, this guy's a ghoul who's 5 levels higher than you. It's like, okay, so I can fight him later. But CyberPunk does the same thing. It's like, oh, I've got this big, massive rifle. Yeah, headshot against somebody who's red. It's like 20 damage, right? Yeah. It's like this is what I mean. Like they don't make great role-playing games per se because it's just you're in the city, so a gun should be able to do that to somebody. It shouldn't be like a level up and then. Well, I have now put on my level 20 fedora, and I'm a lot stronger. But I have taken off my military armor that I had beforehand because it doesn't protect me as much as my lovely.
It just depends how big you made your penis in the character selection screen.
And it's true. I see. The problem is I didn't go circumcised.
I did see a lot of complaints. All right, about boss battles in particular. And you can literally stand there shooting.
100%.
No damage. Now, in saying that, I decided after playing probably 4 or 5 hours that I was gonna take a step back, wait until January when there's some kind of patch supposed to come in, and then play it again and see if there was a difference. Because what I noticed, quite a few texture pop-ins. And the draw distance was a bit funky in certain areas, and some of the NPC behavior was a little like they were. So I thought I would just wait and see if CD Projekt Red can fix some of those issues, come back and play a more polished game. God knows they had enough time to polish it, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, because when you're trying to effectively release for 5 platforms at the same time.
Yeah.
All the years they had to polish it, I will give them a little bit more hop on it, but not so much that I'm going to sit back and wait for them 6 months for them to finish doing what they're doing.
I think it's not cross-save, which kind of annoys me. So I can't go and play it on Stadia and then switch to PC or whatever. Although apparently you can pull your Stadia saves out and load them into your PC, and you'll go from there. But like I say, I would love to sit down and just play it on Stadia, but be able to then carry on when I'm sitting at the PC. So I don't know. I'll maybe just restart completely on Stadia.
Can you log into Chrome and play it through the PC then? No.
Yeah, you can. Yeah.
But it's like going to be a separate save file from your PC save file.
I think every game released should be cross-save. At where we are in the industry now,
point in time.
Yeah, I think if you are playing a game on Xbox or PlayStation or PC or Stadia or even that new Amazon one that's out now.
Amazon?
Amazon.
Whatever it's called.
Whatever it's called. I can remember. Luna, I think. I think if you start a game on one, at the very, very least, you should be able to take up from where you stopped on a different platform. I think cross-save should just be standardized across the industry. End of story. Cross-play, I understand, is a little bit more difficult to implement, but I do think that should become an industry standard as well.
I hope
across all games, especially all multiplayer games, because at the stage we're at in the world where you can get 1 gigabit fiber direct to your door, you can pick up your phone, attach a controller, go down and wait for your respective other to finish shopping in pennies and sit there and play a game over mobile data. If you could do all those things, there's absolutely no reason why they can't implement cross-save and cross-play. Simple as that.
100%. It's not a technical limitation, to be honest with you. It's I'd say it's a lot of exclusivity as well. In the fact that I know, 100% agree with you. You're preaching to the choir, like. But it's also a case of if the same game releases on 2 consoles, but one console gets some exclusive content, that console doesn't want you to be able to access that on another one. So then you have to leave. The way Destiny 2 does is like you can't access those items when you're playing on another machine. So if you had it on PlayStation, I believe you got some exclusives, items that you could unlock, but you couldn't get them on Xbox. But then if you played them on PC, you still couldn't use those items, even though it's cross-save, because they were
I think exclusivity for games that are released on multiple platforms should be done away with as well. I think it's wrong. I think it absolutely drives. Now I understand why it's there, because if you see, for argument's sake, the next Call of Duty game, you get 4,000 COD monies and 2 different characters and 4 different guns or what have you. If you buy it on PlayStation versus Xbox or PC, I understand why they would do that. Console wise, I understand why Sony would say, hey, give us this deal and it'll drive console sales and more people will buy it. I just think it's wrong. I think it should be done away with. I don't think there should be any. I think you should be able to choose your platform of choice and have the exact same experience across every game, no matter what console or platform you choose. That's my opinion on it.
Oh no, 100%. Well, barring the hardware limitation, depending what the console is, you obviously get a slightly different, because of resolution, whatnot.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
But
like
other
your experience for the game, like what guns you have, what character you could choose, etc., etc. I don't think should be limited by what platform you're on.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. Like it's, to be honest with you, it's choice for a gamer is a good thing, but choice for a company is not, because if that means that if you have choice outside of the company, you have to go. They can go somewhere else. So that's why they're just paranoid that people just go, well, if you got choice everywhere, it's like you're not going to stay with us, and it's.
Well, I have no problem with cosmetics, like say camos for guns or whatever. But like Call of Duty now is a good example, because like this year I think it's some zombies mode, and endless mode is gone. Xbox doesn't have that for a year. Last year it was something in Spec Ops, like so. Like, you're paying the same price for it. No, it's different. You can make that decision if you're buying the game and the console together. Great, I buy it on PlayStation because I have that. But now you're effectively being penalised. This is a 7-year console, so for the next 7 years, if Sony have a deal with COD, you're getting fucked, because you're now missing out on stuff for a year because of a choice you made, or maybe had no say in the matter of making it. Like,
was it not Destiny 1? Where I don't think I ever used like the Jade Rabbit or played any of those PlayStation exclusive maps.
The strikes and stuff,
or strikes, because it was like 2 years, 3 years.
Yeah, I don't think there's any Destiny exclusive now, is there?
No, well,
there is. No, well, there was Destiny 2.
But Bungie bought Destiny back from Activision, so
yeah,
or split from Activision, I should say. So there's no exclusivity at all now. That was
Then
all
again,
Activision. That was all Activision just loving Sony.
You look at the Avengers game as a prime example. I know currently Spider-Man is a Sony IP. If you buy the Avengers game on Xbox, you have no access to the Spider-Man character. Now that is fucking bullshit.
Especially for a Marvel.
Yeah, especially for Marvel. Yeah, no, it's horseshit.
Saying it is bullshit, but it is biting them in the ass. They haven't made their money back. They're currently 50 million in the red. Red's bad, isn't it? Yeah, in the red.
The game is shit.
It's a terrible game. It's meant to have.
Is it shit? Does it?
It's meant to have some really fun singular missions, but then when you see how they ham-fisted in the multiplayer stuff, the Destiny style stuff, the pay as a service, your live service stuff, when you throw that in there, you can see it getting very ropey, very boring. And the funny thing is that it almost seems like they had this really good single player game, and then Square Enix came along going, you know what's good?
Multiplayer,
always online services. Yeah,
I can see where they were going with it, and I can see that there is a good game underneath. I can see that. The problem that I have is that the overlay, which I solely blame on Square Enix, is absolute trash, and it's. I think it's shameful, really, for Marvel to have their name associated with it. I actually
think the biggest misstep they made was the fact that they didn't secure the image licenses for Robert Downey Jr. and all, because like they look like a fucking porn parody cast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like this knockoff Black Widow, knockoff Iron Man, knockoff.
Knocked up.
You know, because
Knocked up,
because like the art style they've chosen is not in line with the animation, the
No.
animated series. You know, so now you've got this nowhere. They're not related to anything really.
Yeah.
Is the thing.
There's no familiarity.
Yeah.
Even if they licensed the cartoon version, you know, the Ultimate Avengers or whatever it's called. Even if they licensed those likenesses, then at least you'd have something to. So I've seen those guys on Disney Plus or whatever you have. Oh yeah, I'll play that game. But it's like you said, you're looking at it, and it's like the pound shop version of the wrestling figures that you buy.
It's like when you're a kid, you went, oh, I'm going to get the WWF things, but you know, you're not getting WWF. You get to the pound shop, and she gives you the WWG or something.
Yeah. World Wrestling Garrison or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the hot take on Cyberpunk at the moment is you can play it.
Play it on Stadia.
If you play it on Stadia, yeah. If you really want the best experience right now, play it on super duper PC hardware or play it on Stadia. If you want a good experience going forward, maybe wait a couple of weeks and see what drops in the January patch.
I'm going to still keep playing it because I'm really liking it, but that's just me.
No, everybody's going to have their own experiences with it.
You do you. You do you.
You do you.
I have to. It's lockdown.
Hmm.
Sorry. Sorry, different story.
So, moving on. We are, as of the time of recording, 6 days away from Turkey Day.
Christmas! Oh my goodness, that was Christmas!
Turkey Day, boys! Do we all eat turkey for Christmas? Does everyone have turkey and ham?
I do, but I don't think we're getting a turkey this year because we're having it at home. It's just the four of us.
Strangely, normally
would-
normally we do, but like yourself, I don't think we're having turkey this year.
I'll tell you a good story about myself and ourselves were chatting the other night, and we were talking about the turkey. Like I said, what are we going to get? Like, there's no point. Like, we can get a turkey breast or whatever the story is. Not the same. So we said, like, Joe, a chicken, like, be grand. Chicken be tastier. Sandwiches next day, whatever story. Then herself came up with the idea. Why don't we just get a rotisserie chicken? It'll be cooked and all the day before. £5, bish bash bosh, dinner done.
Calling child services, they should be at your house.
There have been worse ideas had.
Well, ourselves, like Mrs. Ferrigan, works in a butcher's. Every year she gets a free turkey and a free ham, and we're giving them away this year. And I think we're going to be having steak.
How bad?
My brother,
Is
who doesn't like turkey, and ever since he's been married and has family, they never have turkey. They always get a big steak pie or something, which in Scotland would be a hogmanay thing. You would have steak pie on hogmanay, which is New Year's Eve for anybody that doesn't know. But yeah, they're gonna. But I think this year they're gonna get a big roast beef and do roast beef, and we're gonna do steak.
I think realistically
dropping
we'll
things
probably
all over the floor here. Sorry.
just do a decent ham. That's the way to go.
Exactly. Yeah.
The ham is good. That's the main thing.
We're definitely having turkey,
I
but
love
we may or may not be breaking lockdown protocol by having some people here.
I think you're allowed to.
You're allowed
Three
to.
households.
You're allowed to tie your house to another house, aren't you? Or something?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can do that.
Yeah. So my immediate family and her in-laws definitely live in the same house, or my in-laws definitely live in the same house. They're in the TikTok house.
Yeah.
Her parents and my parents all live in the one TikTok house.
Brady bunch.
Yeah. No, look, we're having people here. We usually have about 14 or 15 people on Christmas Day, which you've all seen the pictures down through the years.
Yeah.
The long table. We're splitting to two houses this year. But we're still doing everything turkey, ham. I did turkey for about 6 days afterwards, which suits me down to the ground because I love turkey and I haven't eaten turkey all year, really.
Sausage stuffing. Oh, yes,
Yeah.
potatoes. It's just the sausage stuffing, and it's like it's all so good. And
I know we said it in the last one, but the toasted sandwich with the sausage stuffing and the Ballybrew relish, the turkey
Oh.
into the sandwich press with a bit of cheese.
And then, or if you're feeling really decadent, you can kind of fry the slice of bread, and then put the meat and stuff inside there as well, and just
yeah.
fry the other side. It's just amazing.
I usually keep a little glass of Baileys for dunking.
Well, I'm all for it. Like, I'll give
Yeah,
it a go.
yeah. I'm going to try that now. Yeah.
That's it.
I don't like Bailey's, so I'm not going to try that, but it does sound awesome.
Oh, myself and some of my friends here, we have a yearly fest. Shall we say, yearly? What do you go? We do it every year, anyway.
Annual.
So annual. That's it. We got but we do like a little mini Christmas dinner for those of us who are living in the city. Like, so we just had it there last week, and it was so good. Oh, my mate makes this amazing. He does this turkey, and it's like I love my mom's turkey, but this guy literally makes the best turkey you'll ever have. Because most people main complaint about turkey is it's too dry and all of this. And it's just like whatever way he makes it, it's just so good.
It's butter,
So good.
butter under the skin. Is
See,
the
my
secret.
but it does that keeps it in my throat. But he does something else in the. But it's just magic. I think he uses
Butter
magic.
in a Hessian cloth. There's a trick for you, Hessian cloth. Turn it upside down. Cook it upside down. All the juices run into the breast then.
Yeah. Oh,
Anyone else getting hungry? Actually,
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a box of celebrations there and some Pringles. Might have to go and dig into them.
How is the holiday buzz though, boys? Like it's a bit different
Yeah.
feeling this year.
Mate,
Oh, I'm still very excited. Maybe it's just the fact I got 2 weeks off from work, so and I don't have kids, so that's always a plus. So it's like it's my time.
I'm a bit of a bah humbug myself. Like I don't get excited about Christmas. I don't know what it is, but this year, even people around me that would normally get excited about Christmas don't seem excited about Christmas. I guess it's just the year that's in it. But
I'm not the world's biggest lover of Christmas per se. I love not having to go to work
Yes.
for a couple of weeks. That's because I think it's more prevalent than ever this year. You need that reset time.
Oh god, yeah. You need at least a full week away from something to actually unhook from it, and then the next week is just actually proper relaxation.
Yeah.
Because I know
having always worked in industries that just work straight through Christmas, I have no idea what you're talking about. So
Oh,
Wow.
I used to work up in Dublin for a games company, and they obviously would always be available, and Christmas Day was one of our busiest days. So I think it's the first Christmas I've ever missed, and it's still so sad.
this year, I think even some people were on, I don't know, you quote the colloquial term furlough. Even some people were on that, and they might have been off for a couple of weeks. There was no, I think Stone, you'll agree with this, there was no great R&R even for those couple of weeks that was off. It wasn't like a holiday because you were flat to the mat anyway, doing other stuff. So like this time now is the first time, I think this 2 weeks or whatever it is for Christmas is the first time that you can actually kind of just relax and not have anything to do in the background, so to speak.
That's gonna be so good. I just miss my
Like-
PC.
I really noticed it this Friday now leaving the office. Like it was most Christmas now, it's like super panic all the way up to the very end, and it was to an extent. But then like by actually midweek, it kind of backed off a lot. It was like the pressure valve was gone. People kind of accepted everything, and here we are. And everyone was happy. Like you'll always meet a couple of workaholics who are mad to work through it and this time off now. Jesus Christ, we're finishing too early. All this kind of crack, but there was none of that this year. Like I think everyone is time to tune out. Like
yeah,
I think our industry this year has really, I think most people in the industry finished up on the 18th.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of them might have worked, the 21st and 22nd
Yeah.
of what it would be the Monday and the Tuesday. I know some still are, but I think a lot more people are just resigned to.
Say
we're
the
gonna
majority
finish up
have
and
all
we're gonna
finished,
relax
yeah.
into it. Yeah.
no, not a lot of that is not all benevolent. Like a lot of that is the fact that nobody went on holidays during the summer,
Yeah.
so they're burning
Yeah.
holiday days now. That
But anyway, so the holiday buzz, while it's not the same, there's still a bit of a
I'm always a
behind it all.
I'm a massive man child, so I get super excited. Looking forward to going home, seeing, got presents for the family. I'm looking forward to seeing what to see, because I think I got awesome stuff this year. So it's like, yeah.
And all of me saying that I'm a bit of a bad humbug and I don't get excited about Christmas, I'm still up at 6 o'clock in the morning on Christmas Day.
Yep.
Got to get those presents opened, like.
Too right.
So am I, but that's to put the turkey on.
The main question is the ritual for the presents now. Every house seems to do it different. Like we used to do like one present the night before, and then you can open the rest the next day.
God, we're not allowed to do that here.
What weirdness is that?
Hmm?
What weirdness is that? That's strange and confusing to me.
See, my brother brought that into us. It's like he said, this is how they do it over in other countries. we used to have, he used to put out a lovely spread as well, like the night before is like the cheese.
That's
fig,
an Eastern European thing, is it? I know in Poland they celebrate the night before. They celebrate on Christmas Eve, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like everybody came home on Christmas Eve, so it's literally would be like it's not obviously a Christmas dinner, but it's like there's a whole load of cheeses and whatever stuff, weird stuff.
Wine.
That's what I liked.
My brother-in-law is married to a Polish girl, and there's always a dinner on Christmas Eve, or as I like to call it, the bush tucker trial.
You're a bad man, but I like it.
When I lived back in Scotland, we had strangely, one of our neighbours was a couple, and he was Italian. He was an Italian chef and a really good chef, and she was Polish, and yeah, like that, they would invite us round for dinner, and it was very much a bush tucker trial thing, and interposed with many shots of vodka. But yeah, I understand now why you have to drink vodka in between every.
Was it Polish vodka?
Yeah.
Polish vodka is serious stuff, lads. Serious stuff.
I remember one of my team leads in that job. Actually, the company I was telling you in Dublin, it's like one of my team leads up there. He's from Poland, and he came back one year with this bottle of plum vodka from his village, and the pure Irish head me go, of course I can drink. Yeah, no worries.
Easy.
It's first shot. I kind of remember that, and then it's literally scene deleted. Woke up on the couch 12 hours later. I was like, what the hell?
You walk up in Skyrim after that.
Close to, guys. Close to.
An
It's
arrow
like,
to the knee and
yeah, it's just
An arrow to the gut, possibly, after that much Polish vodka. Do you do like Secret Santa and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah.
Like the family Secret Santa? Yeah. This is a thing that came in, obviously, when I joined the extended family that I'm joining now, because I'm an only child and there's only me, my dad, my mother, mammy. So, we used to all buy each other presents, but this Secret Santa thing came in, and it's great. It's great. There's like a €100 limit, which is never kept to, but it's great. You just buy one person, one thing, and that's it. We do a draw and everything. It's great. We did an online draw this year. It was brilliant. You didn't even have to meet anybody to put your hand in a hat or anything, because of COVID.
Yeah. The only Secret Santa we used to do was in work, but we didn't do it this year, obviously. So.
We didn't do it this year either, actually, or last year.
Anyway.
yeah.
So that's Christmas. We're all excited for, most of us are excited for time off. Some of us are excited for turkey. That's me, and you, and the rest of us aren't really excited at all because they aren't really off. So
Yeah.
So moving on, Black Friday came and went with little to no aplomb. Anybody buy anything?
No aplomb.
No aplomb.
The only thing I bought was this Logitech G502 wireless mouse.
Mm-hmm.
Was the only thing that caught my eye.
The only thing I got really was these lights that are illuminating me right now.
Same lights. That was it.
I will say I totally forgot about it, but I did buy some bottles of whiskey from Amazon UK to my parcel hotel address, and that was very nice.
That is the last time you'll ever do that.
Connection.
Oh my god.
There. Did I lose connection? Am I back?
No,
You're back.
there.
All right.
You did go, but you're back.
Hmm.
The joys of technology, boys, brings us all closer.
Well, sure. Look, it could be worse. Nobody died.
Well, imagine if every internet disconnection an angel did die.
Every time your internet reconnects, an angel gets its wings. I bought lights, like Al. That's the same. Look, there wasn't much doing on it. We did have a good look at it, and I think we had this discussion already. This stuff that you could buy was.
I was gonna say it gets worse every year, but it's never really been great. I've never actually bought anything in a Black Friday or a Cyber Monday sale. I have to say that's been amazing.
The only thing I can remember buying that was any great value was Xbox Live for about 20 quid. You could only buy one. That's the only time I remember getting super value out of Black Friday.
Yeah. See, Black Friday was something that we used to make a lot of fun of. Like, it was like, oh, look at the Americans running into the shop, trampling each other, sort of thing. It was something you just made fun of. And then that was like something, and then it got over here a little bit going, this will never take off. And now it's actually a thing, but the sales are just terrible.
Yeah.
Like, the sales are the stuff you get regularly. Like, I mean, stuff I bought this year, earlier in the year, was the same prices as they were on sale during Black Friday. It's just...
Yeah, I think the fact of it that Jeffy B and all his buddies are after such a great year of online sales in it, there's no real incentive to be slashing the legs off things.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Uncle JB.
I dropped into a shop in work that normally has amazing, winter deals, Black Friday, and Cyber Monday deals, and there was nothing. Nothing was on sale. Zero. And they normally match Amazon deals. They normally match Google Play Store deals on things like Alexa, Google Homes. But no, everything was full price. Nothing at all. It just kind of tells you about the year that we've had, that everybody's had. Like,
So yeah, nobody really bought anything of any consequence. So just put that Black Friday 2020 to bed. It was nothing. End of story.
It was a Black Friday to suit COVID 2020.
It really was. Moving on, couple of announcements for quarter 1 2021. The first one is the Real Grumpy Show. So take it away, Mr. Dan.
Yeah, so the Real Grumpy Show, there was meant to be a video out before this, but just due to work life and so forth, that's kind of been delayed. So this should be the first one on Die Hard early in the new year. So keep an eye on it. I'm not very good at selling stuff. That's your field, Foxer. But I'm liking the script and whatnot so far. So hopefully it comes together. If not, let us know. Like and subscribe, or dislike and subscribe, sort of thing.
We're all anxiously awaiting the very first Real Grumpy Show, which I believe the tagline is "From the silver screen to the never seen."
Mm-hmm.
And a brand new show to announce coming quarter 1 2021 is the Average Bro Review Show, where average bros review stuff. Basically, that's the premise. Averagely, there'll be an average review by average bros. So there's a couple of things lined up for that, which we'll get into greater detail on in the new year. So, any other business? Anything else? Mildly interesting.
Nothing springs to mind.
nothing
okay.
springs to mind at all. No?
Nothing springs to mind after the year we've had. That's it. We've talked ourselves through the entire year
Yeah.
so far.
I think I put up this Christmas hat. That's kind of interesting for me. I kind of if I can make this a yearly, an all year round hat.
I'm kind of wishing I'd went for antlers. Looking at Mick, like,
But that's true. It lets the heat out a lot easier.
yeah.
He was clever. Plus, it suits the spirit.
Work smarter, boys, not harder.
Or try not to work at all.
Well, yeah, that's the way forward. I think try not to work. Okay, so moving on to the next big section that we usually talk about is what are we playing? or not playing, as the case may be. Still playing Warzone. No
Warzone.
update for Warzone.
Yep, that
in
dropped
the
this
last-
week.
Yeah.
We all kind of had a bit of a first play last night, didn't we?
First time in a month, I'd say over a month. Maybe
Yeah.
2.
Not overly fond of the new Gulag.
I didn't even get to see that.
I
Yeah,
am
I
Not many times.
I am undefeated in the Gulag currently, so I'm liking the new Gulag.
Oh, technically I am too, but I've never been there. So.
Whoa. Just
Can't
go with
lose.
undefeated. Just go undefeated.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can't lose if you don't turn up.
I don't know. It's too early to say. That like that map, I played that map before in Blackout. Didn't really like it then. Don't really like it now.
Yeah,
So
it's.
Can you load into that map in the normal? No. So you can only right.
Yeah.
Right. So far, anyway. Eventually,
Yeah.
you probably will get there. It's amazing how I didn't even have to finish that, and you knew exactly where I was going with.
So I never actually played that map. So that the map that we played last night after you went off Flying Fox, or was it? Was that map in the game before or something?
It was in Black Ops 4. It was
in Blackout, yeah.
Yeah, it was in Black Ops 2 as a zombies map. I think it was. It was. Yeah, so it's grand. It is what it is. Like
It was interesting. It's very hard to hide in it. Like it's so.
yeah,
It's yeah.
Killing
I
field.
think the basic tactic is take a roof, hold a roof.
yeah. And it's funny between different developers. Like you can see how one team leads towards one thing and one leads to another.
Yeah.
The Treyarch CODs have always been about more kills, more faster, more kind of, whereas the Modern Warfare ones seem to be a bit more campy and a bit more tactical and stuff like that. And you can see that in this map now. It's generated to funnel people together, keep them respawning, keep them killing, keep building up again. So
Well, it's not a bad play mode though. It's not a bad way of playing. It's just a different way of
do you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of
turn
that.
around, antler bite.
It reminds me of that limited time mode where you played. It was like the lobby of the game. Do you remember that? Where what was it? It was in Warzone. I can't remember what it was. It was like the semi-moving circle, and everyone kept respawning. That thing.
Oh, the anyone?
What I was going to say was that I believe, if I harken back to the previous Grumpy Bro show as well, a certain member of this round table definitely said they weren't getting Black Ops, and I believe a certain member of this round table completely went back on their word.
And I believe he's the only one that's bought it.
Yeah.
I actually had a panic moment there going, I was quite drunk this month.
I was like, oh god, please don't let this be me.
Yeah.
on Black Ops.
Like that. No, I streamed a bit earlier there when we were waiting. Like, I'll give it another bit of time. Initial impressions are not really what I'd like. It feels like a step back. It feels like a 360. Well, that's probably a bit unfair. It feels more like an early Xbox One Call of Duty is what it feels like. There's something up with the movement. There's something up with the. It's very hard to quantify in words. Like, there's just a feel that that's not quite there.
I really enjoy Warzone. It's become quite the battle royale for me. And I think that would be the only reason I buy Black Ops will be to get the weapons for Warzone and to be able to level them up
Yeah,
relatively easy.
that was my thinking as well. And I said, look, sure, there's still zombies and there's still the campaign. The campaign will always be worth a look anyway. Like, you know.
Strangely, now don't hold this against me. I've never played zombies.
Yeah,
Ever.
I'm never a major fan either.
Yeah.
Neither
So,
am I.
but I think it's something that we would all enjoy. So,
I'd be up for it anyway. But a quick question. So if you have Black Ops, can you use those guns in the other Modern Warfare multiplayer?
Yes, you can now. Oh well, not deathmatch and stuff like that. You can use it in Warzone though.
in Warzone, yeah.
In Warzone, but not the other Modern Warfare match.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird. It's weird. It's like they're all same thing, but they're not.
But it's funny, like when you load up Modern Warfare or Warzone and you're selecting a character model that's in Black Ops, they look different and they animate different.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird.
It goes deeper than that. I was watching a JCOD video yesterday, and he's great for drilling down into the weapons and how they play. And he's been playing Black Ops obviously since it came out, and trying to figure out what weapons are going to be good in Warzone and whatnot. And he done a comparison video yesterday of the Black Ops weapons in Black Ops multiplayer compared to Warzone, and they're completely different. They've put different recoil patterns in them, different bullet velocities, different everything. Aim down sight speed and all that. He says it in his video. It's almost as if the Black Ops development team have just taken the skins and sent them over to the Warzone guys and said, deal with that. That's what they look like.
Probably what actually happened.
It's probably exactly what happened. Yeah.
It certainly feels. No, I haven't played Black Ops, but the feeling I get is that it's like three very distinct games. You have Modern Warfare, and you have Black Ops, and then you have Warzone, which is its own separate entity that just has elements of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's much closer to Modern Warfare though, because like you've got the weapon mounting system, you've got the the way in Warzone you can kind of climb roofs and stuff like that. Like you can jump on the bin, jump on the sign, jump on the thing. Doesn't seem to be in Blackout or Black Ops that I can see at the moment today. Very much a traditional head glitching Call of Duty.
Because that's one of the great things about Warzone is like the verticality.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Like the way you can jump off a roof and just get into the window just below it, and it's like if you do it just the right way, you just surprise the entire team. Yeah. And still die because I'm terrible at shooting. But at least I surprised them before they killed me.
You surprised them with your death. So just to touch on this as well, like you've played a bit of Black Ops then, Stoll.
Bit of it, maybe 4 or 5 multiplayer maps. I haven't played any campaign or zombies yet.
And is that eaten into your time playing Control?
Control, I'm in a funny place to Control. I haven't finished. I'm a mission and a half from the end. A friend who's played it. I'm as far as the
So you've played some of it then?
Oh, I have, yeah. I've gone back. I've made a point of going back. Where I'm at with Control is I am enjoying it but not loving it.
Oh.
Yeah, I made a few notes on this. Control for me has a few fundamental problems. Control it has a great story. It has great backstory, but it's all in collectibles. So like what I find I'm doing in Control is like I walk into a room, scan for 5 of the stuff, and I'll pick them all up, then into my menu, then you read them or listen to them or whatever the story is. And it's all very entertaining, but there's no shooting happening, there's no traveling. So they could change it around that, but I will finish it. I will make myself finish it since I'm so close now, but it's not. I would give it a solid 7 out of 10. Is where I would give it. Some of the controls are interesting, the actual powers, stuff like that. But I once I've soured, but I've cooled on it somewhat.
Yeah. So it's been a while since I played it now. So were the audio logs not playing while you're moving around in the game, or
the audio logs? Well, so if I play an audio log, just if I play any of the tape recorders that I get,
yeah,
as soon as I move away from them, they obviously fade out with positional audio. So you have to stand beside them and listen to them, like, so you're not doing it.
Yeah, I agree with that 100% because like those videos you'd have to watch on the screen.
Yeah, a projector, like, or whatever the story is, or there's an overlay of a big silhouette, like when the thing is talking to you, like, and it's all great, but you're not doing anything else, like, you're not moving the place forward. Like the architecture, amazing, gameplay is pretty good, enemy types are a bit samey and stuff like that. Like there's a weird balance between your actual gun, which is one of those transforming, it's the same weapon you have from the start to the finish, you just upgrade. But yeah, I'm just after cooling on it a bit. I would still recommend it to anyone. Like it's gotten high praise, but maybe it's just not for me. Different people like different things.
Because I'll definitely say it was one of the best single player games I played, but I agree with everything you said, like.
Yeah.
But I do agree, but some of those videos were cool, because like it's weird, those videos as well are, like they actually have live actors doing them. And like they're done well, but it's very campy. It's very, very campy in place.
Yeah, and that's all actually the best part of it, all that stuff, like. But like it'd either make a really interesting book or comic, or it'd be a really good action game, but the two just don't quite fit together.
And I think that's been the curse of them for a long time, how they tell their stories. Is like they've had it in Alan Wake as well, and they've had it in Quantum Break, which is another game that I think is just, I did not get the praise it deserved. Quantum Break, I still think I
like Quantum Break.
It was just, but at the same time, you kind of hit that same thing. Like, here's the story, now stop.
And it's like you watch the little TV shows and people going, I just want to play games that you stuff. I found it interesting, but I can understand why it annoyed people. Because it's like they're trying something that other people aren't. So I always give a little bit of credit for that. But I do understand 100% what you're saying there. Like you're kind of going, oh, this game's going really good, combat's really good, this is fun, and then all of a sudden now sit and listen. And you just want to get back to shooting.
Yeah,
I do remember that with Quantum Break even as well. It kind of pulled me out of it a bit. It's a game I must actually go back and finish. I would imagine, Stone, you have a different perspective on Hades, which is something else you've been playing recently.
Hades is still savage. Like I've yet to beat it, but that's a game that rewards every playthrough. You know, I was actually thinking of doing a video review for that, but like as I sat down to get to do it, the actual work involved in that, and like tip the virtual cap to people who are reviewing games for a living, like, because once you sit down to actually do that, it's crazy the amount of work that's involved in that. And like I wrote, maybe, I suppose if I printed out probably 3 foolscap pages like of stuff, like, and you'd have burned through it in a minute. A minute of footage talking through it. Really good game. Yeah, it keeps rewarding you. The story keeps progressing at every death.
Explain it to me. Explain it to me like I'm 5. I know we've spoke about it before, and I've been like, yeah, I'll go and have a look at it. I never have.
Okay, so the first thing is it's a run-based game, and it's a roguelike. So every time you die, you go back to the start. Roguelike in that it's randomly generated to an extent, but where it's different to other games like that. So when you go back to the start, everyone knows that you died. The first character you meet when you start again taunts you about how you died. And then you go again, and like, so the story is you're escaping hell. You're Zagreus, son of Hades, and you're trying to get out of hell to get to the overworld. So on your way up, there's gods from. So you've got Zeus, Ares, the usual cast of them.
Yeah.
They'll talk and they'll give you boons, which are essentially perks. So like your basic attack. So if you got Zeus, he'll give you a boon or a perk so that your attack does lightning damage. And you can upgrade that as you go along so that it gets chain lightning and so along. Or Athena will give you one, which would be health regeneration. Dionysus is like, he's the god of wine. So his powers are like bombs, which cast hangover, which it slows all the enemies down and makes them weaker and stuff like that. So it keeps going now. It like every time you run, then you're collecting other stuff. You're collecting coins and there's a dark matter or something like that's called. But you can, when you die, you go back to your bedroom and you can, in the magic mirror, you can up your strength stats, up your magic DVD. So you are getting stronger with every death. So no run is wasted. Like
right, yeah.
You know, and you unlock different weapons along the way. Then, and each of those does a certain thing. But every time, so like hell is presented then like as kind of it's like a factory floor or whatever. Like, and there's a canteen, and like one of the bosses you beat on the way out could be inside there having a drink, and she'll give you a stick for what happened in the battle and tell you get you next time, stuff like that. But there's a really good story going on all the time. Like it's well worth a look. So I think I'm close to getting to the end. I've got to the last level maybe twice, but just haven't been able to get out of it yet. So I probably won't.
You're saying it's roguelike. Is it different every run through? Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
The level design is different every. Like you'll meet different mini bosses. Not every time you go. Like you can spec a build. So like another one of the things you get. One of the pickups in the world is, we'll call it nectar. There's some fancy word for it. Ambrosia, good man. And you can give that to the gods, and they'll give you like a trinket. It's like a token of their affection. So if you wear that, you're guaranteed to meet them next. So you can actually start to spec a build. So you can pick this weapon, right? Say, I'll take Zeus's boon. Now I'll meet Zeus next. He'll give me that. That'll be a +1 of those, and so on and so forth. You can start building. So there is a structure to it, but it's the way it's done is really good. It kind of reveals itself to you as you go. It's not. There's an element of randomness, but there's an element of you actually can see how it's put together after a while, and spec your character out. Really cool.
Would you recommend it then as one to play?
Oh, definitely, yeah. Definitely. It's a great game for like 30-minute bursts as well. Because like you like, even though it's not a grinding game, you know, like you can do a run and say, not really liking this weapon, but look, I'll try and collect as much dark matter as I can. Like if I do die, nothing lost back. I can upgrade my strength or upgrade my casting or whatever, and off you go again. Like,
yeah, because I haven't played Hades, but I have loved all of their past games. Like from Bastion, Bastion was definitely my game of the year. To Transistor, I actually didn't play Pyre. That's one I didn't play. But like they've had some amazing games.
Yeah, and like that, I hadn't played any of their games. You know, it's just a couple of podcasts listened that they were all raving about it, and they were all saying like that this is, you can see that this is what they were actually trying to get to. With all, there's like shades out of all their games before that, and now this is like the perfect. It's getting game of the year all over the place at the moment. So, just want to look at. Plus, if you Epic Store at the moment, if you use €10 voucher, it's only $10 or so. Worth a look.
I think I'll look into.
Thank you for our sponsors.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What's his name? Tim. Thanks, Tim Sweeney.
to me. TS to us.
Moving on to. Did anybody stick with Destiny 2 when they jump back in?
I hit the grind of the missions of go kill these 500 people in this smashy way to unlock your next level ability in your new form, and I just didn't find any joy in doing that. Like, I had a lot of fun playing the campaign, and I had a little bit of fun playing the strikes and stuff, but I just once I hit that grind of smash people so you can unlock your next ability, no, you're good, guys. I've been through this with every MMO and Destiny 1 and Destiny 2, and I just don't have it in me to do it anymore.
I was exactly the same. Yeah.
I'm actually
I hit that wall and.
Go on.
No, I hit that wall of grind this, grind that to get a very small amount of level up, and I was like, I don't have time for this. I've got other things to play, I've got other things to do, as well as, work and live.
See, I don't know if a part of it's my own fault because I hit the soft cap so quickly with the exploit of the what you call it, it's lost sector. But then at the same time it's like going.
Yeah, no, because you would have hit that cap going through the story anyway. So
that's true.
I'm not a fan of the new super at all.
I haven't leveled it up enough to know if I'm a fan of it or not. But carry on, Mick, with your confession. We shall hear it.
No confessions for you.
I can't stop playing Destiny 2. It's amazing. It's fucking the best it's ever been. And like you know me now from Destiny 1 and early Destiny 2, I was the first to tap out when the fucking hamster wheel started going. But I actually think the game is actually in the best state it's ever been for me at the moment. There's always something to do. There's always an exotic to chase. There's the hunts. Like I'm at 1255 now at the moment. I think their hard cap is 1260 at the moment, and I'm going raiding Monday. I haven't done a raid in God knows how long, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah,
I'll tell you how it goes.
I would highly recommend it to anyone.
I can tell you exactly how it goes. Two people will cancel 5 minutes beforehand.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you've broken through, I suppose, the barrier that maybe the rest of us have hit. Then I'd say if I was to give a guess, you've all stopped playing at the end of the story, and you've spoken to the stranger, and the stranger is saying, and Varix has said, "Off you go now, out into this open world, and as you said, do this and do that." It actually doesn't last that long, that stuff, because after the raid was beaten, a whole lot of stuff got added back in. There was like, that was the end of the week 1, I suppose, campaign stuff. But they added a whole lot of stuff in after the raid got announced and then subsequently beaten into the world. So like there's loads of, like, as I was saying to the lads, like at the moment I get up in the morning, I leave the dog out, be 6:30, and I do that on a Saturday and Sunday as well. But what I do then is rather than go back to bed, I play Destiny till 10 until everyone else gets up, and I hit all my gamble bounties, all my crucible bounties. I do my it sounds like I have an addiction. It's actually mad.
It does, so.
But I get it all done. Like it's all, and next thing I'm 10 light levels up. so it's like.
You see, that's the problem. Is like I spend that time taking heroin, so I don't have time. So, I mean, it's just heroin or Destiny, and it's just like, it just balances that.
I'm going to confess that I haven't actually finished the story.
What?
Yeah, I got to a part in the game. I tried to play it. I was so bored that I just said, no, not for me. And definitely those who played with me on Xbox, so top left and bottom right there, will know that I was one of the biggest proponents of Destiny 1.
That's why I'm so surprised that you've all fallen off, but being perfectly honest. And I will say, I will say the Series X is probably keeping me on it because like that, it looks amazing now. Like it's in the room by the stove. Come in the morning, lovely morning. Play a few rounds and off we go.
Look, I have intentions over the Christmas break to take a jump back in and see if I can push through. But as it stands right now, I haven't finished the story. I'm finding it one of those games that I can't bring myself around to play to finish the story. But that, there could be a lot to say because of, I mean, let's face it, you come in from work, by the time you've eaten and everything, it's 7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Then we're either going to jump on and play Warzone, or we're not jumping on at all. Or, we're doing other thing. We're doing work for the channel work. Like, time is limited, and it's one of those things that I can't at the moment.
And that's like, I think we've all gotten better at kind of putting the pin on stuff that's wasting our time. Whereas before, like, that was always my biggest problem with Destiny, because like, you are not respecting my time that I'm putting in here. Whereas you could run something 3 times and still not get what you were after, or not advance the power level. So it's like now 2 hours have just been wasted. I'm no stronger than I was. I'm no closer to doing a raid. Whereas I haven't had that experience with this yet.
Because the thing about this one is this is basically meant to be Destiny 3. It's the reason why they sunset so much stuff. Those weapons were no longer meant to be in the game, but they went, okay, let's leave it at Destiny 2. But I feel ripped off by it as well. Because don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the new world. The weather effects are great, to be honest with you. I'd love to see that in all the, like, sandstorms on Mars,
Definitely,
waves on Titan that actually flood you. Stuff like that would be amazing. But I just feel like I've paid money to lose a lot of the game I've already paid for. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't playing a lot of that part anyway, but I still had access to it, and I still went there every now and again. And then they sunset my favorite weapons and said, "Oh, you can't light level us up," and there's no reason for it other than the fact that they couldn't be bothered. It's literally like my favorite weapon in the game, and it wasn't even the best sword. It was called the Golden Tusk or Gold Tusk. And it wasn't even the most powerful sword, but it looked cool. You kind of, when you had it out, you ran like a Naruto character, and that's the only reason I loved it. It's like it just felt cool to run around with it. And then they sunset it, and I went, I just really want that sword back. If they put that sword back in, I'd probably play, because I literally just played the entire game with that sword out. That was it. I just feel like they just took a lot away from what I paid for, and then they gave me stuff that was very entertaining, but not worth the asking price. Because I feel like,
sorry, Foxer, where are you in the story?
Do you know what? I'd have to go back and check. I killed a dude where you had to shoot. You were in a...
Oh yeah,
and you had to jump around the platforms, shooting the things in the air.
he was the second
To bring
boss.
his
Yeah.
shields down. Yeah, he was. Yeah. I was just going to say there. I think when Vaulted Glass comes back in, I'll definitely have a lot of interest in that, because I love Vaulted Glass. And
Well,
the
I tell you what,
opportunity
over
to
the
get
next
Fatebringer again.
over the holiday season, I'll jump in and run through the story with you if you want.
Yeah, cool.
We could stream it as well.
It'll be like Destiny 1 all over again.
Definitely.
Where we just stand around in the tower, not playing, just running around the tower. Anyway, I
Talking
digress.
crap. Yeah.
We'll look to that over the break and see how we get on. See who else we can rope back in. We've already touched on CyberPunk. I think we've said all we can say about CyberPunk as of right now. Ori and the Will of the Wisp. I've actually never played either of the Ori games. I have them there to play. It's just something I've never gotten around to do. But I believe Stone has certainly put time into these.
I know anyone listening will think I did nothing this whole month, only play games, because I've played everything. But do you ever get to that kind of weird feeling actually when you're playing games like that? Do you know what? I'm actually really happy. I've all these lovely games to play, and I'm actually enjoying them all. So that's kind of the way I am at the moment. But Ori and the Will of the Wisps, yeah, still playing this, back into it again. I was kind of giving out the last time we were talking about this, how it was after getting bigger, kind of for the sake of bigger, but I was stuck because I didn't know where to go, which brings me to the frog story. So there's part at the end of the first area where there's this big giant frog, and he's telling you, oh, you can't go no further because the water's polluted and all this kind of crack. So you go to another part and you fix the well, which cycles the water, and that's great, and you go back and there's the frog, and it's like, oh, where do I go now? And so we're hopping around for ages and ages in it. So now for a certain period of the game, that frog is an immovable object. You can't get past him. And then all of a sudden, that fucking frog, you can walk past him. but no one tells you that you can now pass. Like he doesn't change animation. He doesn't move. He doesn't move back. So I was there bouncing around the screen there, one even like trying, and next thing he just accidentally jumped past them. Like, I know there's a whole world of imagination out to the right of the frog, who is now no longer blocking the path.
I love those games though. The music, the art, they're just beautiful.
Yeah.
I remember playing the first. Which one's the first one? The Blind Forest is the first one?
Yeah.
I remember putting that on Friday. I think it was on Game Pass. I installed it on Friday and did not stop playing it, like barring sleep, until Sunday night where I finished it. And the last game I did that with was the Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. It's just great. Just a very well made platformer, like put together just so well, and I just love it.
So Ori and the Will of the Wisp gets a thumbs up again.
Yes, definitely.
Right. I think we'll all have to check out this. And speaking of something else that we're still going to have to check out, because I definitely haven't done, Tetris Effect.
Yes. Oh, jeez.
Mr. Dan is a big lover of this.
Oh man, who? Mr. What?
Mr. Dan.
Mr. Dan. Oh, right. It's just it's so weird. When somebody calls me Mr., it's usually the cops, and I'm about to get arrested. But yeah, no, it's a great game. Seriously, the most addictive game, and when you're playing with a joypad, it's the most frustrating thing in multiplayer, because you're fighting against somebody and my big fat thumbs always slip and hit the wrong thing and auto drop the block, and I go, God damn it, no, I was winning. But when you're playing it, and it's just the music so good. The very first level, which is actually the demo to put out, I said this the last time I think as well, is that if you get a chance just to play that, the music's beautiful, but when you're playing the game, it drops. The blocks will drop, and every time you press a button, the game music reacts to it as well. It's like a weird mix of a puzzler and Guitar Hero and Beat Saber. It's just done so very well. It's like bringing Tetris into the modern day. It's just really cool to say. I had so much fun playing that.
I'm going to set a challenge for myself for the Christmas break to play Destiny and push through where I am, to play one of the Ori games, and to play the first level of Tetris Effect. And the challenge is going to incorporate the next game as well, because I know certainly Mr. Fancy Dan is eager to play this with us at Hunt, The Last Showdown.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I have it in my Steam library. I've never booted it up, but I am going to boot it up over the course of the break.
Because it's a very, very different game than it looks like. It's just a regular FPS game, and it is first person, but it's just no other game like it on the market. And it's got possibly the best sound design in any game. If you got your headphones on, you can hear the enemy approaching. It's just you spawn with your team on the map, and you don't know how many other teams spawn against you, and you're all aiming for the bounty in the middle of the map or wherever it is. You have to hunt down the clues, you find them, and you get the guys. The gunplay is very hard because it's all very old school weaponry, and then it's quite unforgiving. So I can understand people not liking that part of it, but it's just if you work together as a team, it's very, very cool. I have to say, it's just
I don't know if anybody else has it, but I think maybe if we get a chance, we might do a stream.
I think we all bought it, didn't we?
I'll buy it.
I don't have it, but we can look into it. Has anyone played Escape from Tarkov?
No, I know we talked last time. I want to play that game.
Yeah, I kind of do too. Like, you know, I know it's probably going to be really fucking hard. Like, but yeah, I'm morbidly curious about it.
Well,
Well,
the challenge. Let's at least half of us play Escape from Tarkov over the course of Christmas. I was about to say COVID break. Jesus, Christmas break.
actually, I think COVID break is basically what we can call it as well. Oh, your sound's coming through a little bit weird there, Fox. Foxy.
How about that?
Say something again.
Something again.
Oh, yeah, a little bit better there, yeah. It's like you're getting cut out.
Too far away, probably.
Tarkov is 35 quid.
What's 35 quid?
That's true. We're in this deep now. We better keep digging.
We better. So to push through. The ongoing journey of keyboard and mouse. Anybody switched over to KBM that was previously controller? It won't be me. I'm a diehard controller user. I'm sorry. I know I have a kick-ass PC, but I just can't wrap my head around it for first-person shooters and that kind of thing. So
I'm playing CyberPunk on keyboard and mouse.
Yeah, I'm playing Destiny on keyboard and mouse, and I've also jumped back into PUBG on keyboard and mouse.
I started Destiny on keyboard and mouse, went back to controller.
Yeah, I don't know. Destiny is actually super easy. You know, it's not really too taxing to play with it.
there's only like 6 buttons.
PUBG is a different kettle of fish entirely, though.
I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I could play PUBG with keyboard and mouse. I'll play any MMO you throw at me. I'll play with a keyboard and mouse, no problem. First-person shooters, just I can't do it.
I actually don't know whether it's a PUBG thing or whether it's a keyboard and mouse thing. It's just, I don't know. Like the people that are on there are absolute savages, and at the moment, like, but I just can't. I can't hang. Is the long and the short of it.
That's the funny thing about PUBG. There's no actual aim assist on that one for control.
No,
Yeah.
Even for controllers, it's like, so it's like you think it would be harder, even still more with a controller than keyboard and mouse, because you're not getting that little bonus that you get for the having a joypad, shall we say?
Shall we all revisit this come January and see how we fared out with a
See
little
where
bit of
we are.
time over the course of Christmas break? See if anybody can acclimatize me. See if I can acclimatize the keyboard and mouse. No? Yes?
I tell you what, you play Destiny 2 keyboard and mouse.
I might have to break out my old Belkin N52 TE keypad again. See if I can
Exciting.
work that out. Yeah. I think now is a perfect time to talk about some random news. And the first piece of random news is to do with Fortnite. God love us. We're going to talk about that. Mandalorian is in Fortnite. But I believe, and I'm not 100% on this, but I believe that both Master Chief and Kratos, whatever his name is, from God of War, Kratos, are going to be boss characters in Fortnite as well. Is that how it is? Or
I don't
playable
think-
characters?
the playable characters say playable skins.
Yeah. None of us play Fortnite, so
No.
No,
I have no real idea about this. But yeah, there was a big Fortnite live event which had Iron Man.
yeah.
Hulk,
My
Spider-Man.
to see that. It's quite cool.
All that. Yeah, I watched the stream of it, and it did look pretty cool, I have to say.
It's just so weird that this game has gotten so big. It's just this is my old man brain. It's like I just don't understand it. It's
We were originally called the Grumpy Old Men, and we're now the Grumpy Bros.
Yeah.
There was a reason for that.
But there's a world of games out there that are making crazy bank, and we don't like. See, the Game Awards show Vin Diesel is in the Ark game now. Like,
What?
Ark, yeah. Vin Diesel is the main actor now for Ark, and like you think of Ark like as this. Do you remember there was a time there was all Rust and Ark and all these other games. They all came out together, these survival games, and
Yeah.
just forget about. They're all massive. They're all making major money.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and even though they never been finished, just we don't play them, like, you know.
But
Since
when I think of Ark, I think of punching rocks and getting eaten by dinosaurs.
Yeah.
That's my
I was going to say, the
understanding of
first time we ever played that, I think you got eaten by a dinosaur and we never went back.
Ark. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Paid
He's a-
30 quid for
Yeah.
like first access to it. And you got eaten
And
by
then
a
the
dinosaur
box
and we're like,
meal
nah,
came
fuck
to
that.
Game
It's a
Pass
shit
after that
game.
then as well. You know what? That's another thing I was going to say. I spent however much it was, only a small amount on Amongst Us or Among Us or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
a couple of weeks ago. The fucking thing is on Game Pass now.
I know it's free on your phone. Always was.
It was always free on your phone, yeah.
I don't like playing games on my phone. My phone is a phone. It's not
No.
a game console.
But you know, Ark. Vin Diesel actually has over 1,000 hours played in that, in his character.
Yeah, fair play.
So- and he's the executive producer for this Ark 2.
Oh.
So, yeah.
He's a big nerd though, isn't he? He
Massive.
plays D&D quite frequently.
Yep. I've
I
always
think I think I saw before, and I could be very wrong with this, and it could be just some mental thing that I made up in my head, but I think I saw himself and Cavill played some online game together or something.
Did Cavill not get a 3080?
Oh, Cavill got a 3080, yeah.
yeah.
What a prick.
He just did a video of putting it in. I can't hate him though.
No, it's very hard to be
I
mad
want
at Henry Cavill.
He's just
To
such
be
a nice
He
guy.
seems like a very likable fella. Yeah.
You just see him on talk shows and he did Geralt very well. So
He did. I actually can't wait.
He
for
really
the
is the alpha nerd. Like he's what we all aspire to be like.
Not only did he do Geralt very well, but I am actually think he was a pretty decent Superman, which
He was.
It's a nice little segue into the next topic. Warner Brothers partnering with DC to release their entire lineup for 2021 straight to pay-per-view.
Yep.
Which is mad.
Big news.
I think this is brilliant.
So they're not going to HBO Max? Or am I misunderstanding?
Yeah,
They probably are as well.
Yeah.
But
It's
HBO Max
Max.
is
Pay-per-view.
available only in
Oh, it's honestly, I don't.
Wait, what?
What?
We can't get over here.
Oh, we can.
This is a terrible idea.
We can get it. I can show you the way.
Dennis.
No.
We know some people who rob some people.
That's from the back of a truck.
No,
but
it's
no,
a
it is.
huge thing. Like, yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984 is their last cinema release for the next 13 or 14 months, right? That's it.
No. They're all being released in the cinema.
Yeah.
No, sorry, standalone cinema release. Like Wonder Woman's not on.
No.
the HBO.
Wonder Woman is the first one
Oh,
that's going to
okay,
be released
sorry.
on HBO Max.
Right.
Yeah.
It's out Christmas Day.
Right. Sorry, no, I thought that was next year. I thought that they were releasing that to cinema, and then the rest of them were going to be.
No, they
I
made
know,
the announcement that Wonder Woman was coming out Christmas Day at the time to release, and then the same day they said that everything else is coming out. So that's what they got. They've got.
Look, for us as consumers,
Mm.
I think this is a great thing.
Mhm.
I really do understand why, actors and people that make movies are getting upset about this, because there was no consultation about it. It was a case of Warner Brothers pretty much just turned around and said, right, this is what we're doing. There we go. They didn't tell them that there was no, they didn't sit down and talk to anybody about it beforehand. They just said, right, this is what we're doing. There you go. Crack on.
Well, let me ask you guys this question. Obviously not 2020, but 2019. Do you know how many times you went to the cinema?
Oh,
Probably 3.
I probably
Twice, I'd say.
Four times. We went to the cinema 4 times.
I'd have to be told what came out before March, but I know that since March, all I've seen is Tenet.
I live like a 15-minute
I
walk.
didn't even go to see Tenet.
No, I didn't see Tenet either. I saw something else that day, but I didn't see Tenet. Oh, no, I remember. I was trying to figure out what it was. But no, my point is that unless it's a big Marvel or Star Wars release, don't really go to the cinema anymore. It's far, far easier on both yourself and your wallet to consume media at home.
Exactly.
I will say that, but going to the cinema, I do like going to. I'd go like maybe once or twice a month.
I enjoy the experience of it. Yeah, but
I don't like paying through the nose for said experience,
through the
but I
nose
do
for
enjoy
it.
it.
Yeah.
And it's not even that bad, because especially in the Odeon now, which is my cinema of choice, it's €5
Why is
for a
that?
ticket. Because it's €5 for a ticket. And do you know what? It's the nicest cinema. The only one that's better
Give
is
Anto a
the-
shout,
the-
for fuck's sake.
Give Anto a shout. I will give Anto a shout. Well, Anto, in fairness, I'm going to say this, Anto from the Odeon in Limerick has always looked after us when we go to see the big releases, the Marvels, the Star Wars, anything else. And he gets very, not upset, but he does, he prefers to know if you're going. Like, I've taken it to the stage now where I don't tell him I'm going to the cinema, because inevitably you end up getting something as per him. But I prefer the Odeon cinema because I find it to be more comfortable. The seats are more comfortable. The screens are nicer. The only one that's nicer is the big Max one out in Durdale.
I'll be honest, we have an Odeon right beside us here, and it is the cinema that I would go to. I wouldn't. Yeah, they're hot dogs. I know. All of you think I am absolutely mental for liking cinema hot dogs, but I love them.
No, cinema hot.
The
Hot
hot
dogs
dogs
are
are the
hot dogs.
best, and the staff are lovely, and the cinemas, the screens, sorry, are amazing.
If I lived as close to the cinema as you guys do.
Mm.
Well, you and obviously Dan. I don't know how far away Mick is, but if I lived as close to the cinema as you guys do, I would definitely get that yearly pass thing.
Yeah, I used to work in Cineworld up in Dublin when they're still up there.
It's
Parnell
closed now,
Square.
yeah?
So basically, you got your pass when you worked there, so you could
Yeah.
go to as many movies as you want and bring 3 friends with you. So on our days off, we would go in the morning, stay there for the day, and since everybody there, you did not get free food all day. Totally didn't get free food. And it was just great because you saw all the movies, and it's like sometimes you see movies with different people, and when you see when you have that sort of option, it's amazing. But I do agree, ticket prices are so pricey. Popcorn's dick money these days. It's just the food.
It's the condiment, it's the food and stuff. That's the wicked price. Like the tickets are €5 in the Odeon.
Yeah.
Like €5 to see a movie is nothing.
If you're on the 3 network, you can get 2 tickets for a tenner. Through Odeon, or you can go in on a Wednesday and it's 2 for a tenner. But then you buy a hot dog, then you buy some pick and mix, then you get a large Coke and a bottle of water, and all of a sudden it's fucking 40 quid. Like,
yeah, that's the issue. But that's where they make their money, obviously.
Did you see that some of the independent cinema houses in the US are going to be charging stupidly low ticket prices for Warner Brothers movies? They're going to be charging like $3.50 a ticket. So
nice.
Purely to cover their costs, and they will not pass anything on to Warner Brothers. As a form of protest, fair enough. I don't think it's going to do anything in the long run for the industry, but
the one thing I'd say that's kind of important with cinema as well, like, and I was anti-social as the next person. Like I'll download an app to order food from a takeaway before I ring them and ask them for it. Like,
exactly.
That's how much avoidance I'll do. Like, but there's something special about seeing a comedy with a packed house, you know what I mean, and everyone's laughing, and there's something special about seeing an event movie like a Marvel film and everyone dissecting it after and pulling all the references to other shows that you've seen together. Like, that's definitely lost at home, like, and that is worth the price of admission for me in a big way.
We've done that, certainly. Like you yourself and myself and Dan have gone to
Captain America
event movies.
Because I remember we were standing outside, actually it was the Odeon, because everyone in the group saw something slightly different than the other person, and I didn't see that part, I didn't see that part. Oh, I saw this part. It's almost like your own little mini Reddit discussion board. After
and the flip side of that, like, is like having 2 kids. I've been to the cinemas where I've dropped nearly a ton in between 4 tickets and 4 whatever meals and whatever the crack is. Like, mad. So
it's a medium and a way of consuming media that I hope never dies, but I would like to see a certain amount of revolution in the cost associated. But that, of course, we're not going to solve that, because obviously Warner Brothers are going to release everything, and maybe there's a chance that Marvel could do the same, because like there's been a billion Star Wars things announced.
That's all going to be on Disney Plus.
All of it, every bit of it.
Yeah. Have we all here seen The Mandalorian?
I haven't watched the last episode, so
I won't say it. And so there's a part at the end of the credits that's amazing as well.
So I've heard. Yeah, I've heard to watch the end credits scene.
We'll definitely dissect that.
To be honest with you, it's
down the road.
built up so well. I mean, there's parts you just go, that was amazing, just pure amazing. I mean, you call out 90% of what's going to happen in it anyway if you've seen the other episodes, but at the same time, when that happens, you go, that was still.
I don't mind sitting here, and I know you'll know what I mean, Dan, when I say it. I don't mind sitting here and saying that I got very teary-eyed at a certain part.
Multiple parts.
Spoilers, lads, for fuck's sake.
That's not really a spoiler.
He cries when he's happy. Sorry.
I cry when I'm happy, definitely, Mandalorian is a show for me that I had a certain expectation for it, and after season 1, that expectation was here, and after season 2, it's skyrocketed.
It's just the fact that that TV show is the first season's expectations were set at the fact that we were after episode 7, 8, and 9, and no matter what you say about those movies, whatever you say, you can honestly say across the board they disappointed the majority of fans.
Yeah.
They did.
So your expectations going into this TV show are going to be, it's going to be terrible. But then you just realize Dave Filoni understands Star Wars. John Favreau is an amazing helmer and director.
Yeah.
They're just working so well together. So Dave Filoni is like he's like taking on it to make it his own personal role to get George Lucas's vision of Star Wars back into the Star Wars canon. And there's part of me that's just hoping that Disney just comes to their senses and just go, all right, 7, 8, and 9 no longer canon. Whatever, Han Solo wakes up in the shower and goes, "Oh, it was all a bad dream." So
I don't think they'll do that, but I think they'll do a certain amount of retconning the potential story arcs from that. Like, I think I'm going to say this, right, for the Mandalorian, especially the guest directors that they brought in to do phenomenal.
The Ahsoka episode is literally Princess Mononoke. Have you guys seen this anime called Princess Mononoke?
No.
Oh my god! Okay, so you just reference what be lost in you, but it's one of the best Studio Ghibli movies, or possibly the best, depending on your opinion. But it's literally that in an episode form. It's just done so well. It's beautiful. I didn't actually pick up on that first until my brother pointed it out to me. I went, "Oh my god, that is it! It's literally beat for beat Princess Mononoke, and it's just done so well."
But the stuff that they've announced, like you have Ahsoka, which I think is going to be fantastic because I mean Rosario Dawson she did a phenomenal job.
Still, headdress looked wrong.
Yeah, it looked it did, but
I liked it.
Oh no, it was too small for a good comparison to the
animated show.
The cartoons is like it's just way too small, and I understand why they have to make it smaller for the actors to handle.
Yeah,
it just goes. You can CGI people from being so young to so old. You can CGI entire worlds. Just CGI the headdress. Just get it right lens. It's like
it's a small break in continuity that I'm willing to overlook. To be honest,
I think it's weird how much it annoyed me.
You're not alone in that. That's been a bugbear for plenty of people. But again, it's something that I'm willing to overlook.
Oh, she was a great Ahsoka. Like acting wise, perfect. It was just that it's just for some reason it's just part of my personality trait. Sometimes I see something I just can't get past it. But yeah, as you're saying, sorry,
Ahsoka, I think that's going to be terrific. I'm really looking forward to the Bad Batch. Such an obscure choice, but I think it's going to be terrific.
I was set up so well though in the last season.
It was, yeah.
So they weren't my favorite part of Clone Wars because it felt very kiddie-ish. But the way they're setting this up is you're actually going to be part of it. See the clones become part of the Empire, so you're going to see them slowly get phased out and stuff. It's going to be really interesting.
And then the rest are like, and the one about Cassian Andor, I think is going to be terrific as well. If only for we get more Alan Tudyk is always better.
That I'm looking forward to. Yeah. To be honest, and this part of me just kind of goes, as much as I loved Rogue One, I kind of wish that they did make that the TV series it was meant to be, but I understand why it was turned into the movie.
I personally would put Rogue One as my second favorite of the more recent Star Wars movies. Last Jedi still for me, I think, is my favorite one. But moving on from all things Star Wars to all things Marvel, I mean, Jesus Christ, the Disney train just keeps moving. There's no stopping it now.
Just before you move on from that there, I got an awful graph from watching The Mandalorian last night to watch Solo again. Like, I think Solo is criminally underrated.
I think I have shown Solo to people who don't like Star Wars and they've loved it.
Solo's a great film.
It's an amazing entry into Star Wars. It tries too hard to fit too much in. That's his biggest curse. It's like Han, Solo. Now his dicer thing and all these things. It's just like, you got your blaster from the same thing. It's literally within 2 hours you managed to get all of his iconic stuff. You didn't have to do any of that. You could have gotten at the end going, he hands him the blaster or something and go, oh my god, that's the blaster from the movie. That would have had the same effect. But at the same time, I think he was handed I can never remember the actor's name. He was handed an almost impossible task to play one of the coolest guys in the world who plays one of the coolest characters in the movie.
And he pulled it off, really. to be
Did a
fair.
really good job in places.
Yeah.
Although we do then find out that Chewie has eaten people, so
Hmm.
which is surprising because he rips arms from people. But
Alden Ehrenreich. Alden Ehrenreich?
Yeah.
so I think he did a really good job, and I know people who've never loved Star Wars, and I've showed that to them, and they thought that was amazingly entertaining.
I'll
course.
tell you who was the highlight of that movie for me.
Woody Harrelson.
No, not Woody. Woody was great, but Childish Gambino, Danny Glover. I
Oh,
thought
yeah.
he was brilliant.
He's
Danny
caught
Glover.
sex with his
Not Danny Glover.
Yeah, I'm too old
what's
for this
his
shit.
What's his name?
Donald.
Donald. Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, it was like good up until the point that you find out that Lando's probably had sex with his robot, which I guess in a world of robots, it's not unheard of.
Man, I tell you, look,
I think I just sat down in that conversation at the wrong point. What?
No, the right
sex
time.
robots,
Yeah.
X robots. Sweet.
sex robots. But yeah, to push on, because I'm getting hungry. From all things Star Wars to all things Marvel, like I said, Disney train is in full flight. It's like the train in Snowpiercer now. It's perpetual motion engine. It's just not going to slow down.
That's
What?
the TV series, by the way.
Oh yeah, Snowpiercer is great. But how are we all feeling about the slew of announcements for Marvel going forward?
I'm looking forward to Loki. See, what I'm actually looking forward to most of those that it was something I never heard of before was the what if.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, the what if? Yeah,
They're doing the what ifs if was it Agent Carter's actually becomes Captain America, but Captain Allied Captain or whatever they're going to call it, because she's got the Union Jack and the stripes.
Yeah.
And there's a whole load of what ifs, like was it Robert Downey Jr. become a zombie or something at one point? Things I do want to know what happens there. You have board for that. It's just that sort of stuff sounds like they could just get all the freedom to play as crazy as they want, because they won't mess with canon, but they can do some really cool stuff.
I'm actually really looking forward to Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because I think you're looking at a similar dynamic to, we'll say, Captain America and Iron Man. You've got two similar enough characters. You've got the stoic, witty Falcon, and then you have the loud and slightly abrasive the stoic, witty Winter Soldier, and you've got the loud and slightly abrasive, Falcon.
Yeah.
And I think that because you have a TV series where you can explore the dynamic between the two characters as opposed to the movies where you only get a certain amount of time, I think you can see or will see what they may have been aiming for with Captain America and Iron Man, but you'll see it with these two characters instead. I think it's going to be, and plus the two actors are terrific.
Is it basically going to be like a decop?
Kind of.
Cool.
I think it's kind of going to be like a buddy cop show. I think the whole premise is they get set a particular mission and they go and do it. And then you have obviously Baron. What's his name?
Zemo.
Yeah, Baron Zemo is back, and you have the not Captain America character, but the
US agent.
new US agent character. I think it's going to be great. I think they're all going to be great. WandaVision, I think, is going to be great from the point of view that it's going to lead into Doctor Strange 2 and possibly the next Spider-Man as well.
Yeah.
I think that's being probably presented as something it's not. I think the way they're presented is this black and white I Dream a Genie thing. I think it's going to get out of that quite quickly.
Oh yeah.
It says it's going to
definite.
get very, very fast.
I think
I would
that
say-
by the end of the second episode, we'll be out of that business.
Back
And
to
into the
Falcon and Winter Soldier, though, I still haven't forgiven Anthony Mackie for what they did to Altered Carbon Season 2. So, as much as I want to look at the show, I just still haven't forgiven him for Season 2 of Altered Carbon. And
I think there's a touch of the Hayden Christensen about that. Like, I don't think he was given much to work with in Altered Carbon. Anthony Mackie is a terrific actor.
Just out of interest, have you read the Altered Carbon books?
I've read the first two.
All right.
They're not amazingly well written, but I love the stories. in them.
What? No, they are my favorite sci-fi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, the first one certainly. The second and the third are still really good. I just wish that Netflix had given them a bit more love. They done the first season so well.
that's the problem. It just started so good, and he knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, absolutely.
Knocked it out of the park.
He knocked it out as Takeshi in a new body, like, you know.
Yeah, literally. And then they had such a great supporting cast in that. The guy who was in Rome, I can never remember the name of the actor, but he was the guy who hires them to find out who killed him.
Yeah.
He's a great actor as well. And it was just such a great cast, and it was just done so well. The art of it was done so well. And you have Poe. What a great character for Poe. It's just that I didn't see him like that in the books, and he just.
I really wish they'd kept it as Hendrix, because Hendrix, a Jimi Hendrix character within the TV show, I feel would have been a lot better. I understand why they changed it to Poe, but if they just kept it as a Jimi Hendrix character, it would have been like, you know, just a big stoner dude. Would have been so much better. But Poe works. I get Poe. I understand it. I like it.
It's like it changes it for a book that I did really enjoy, that I'm usually not a big fan of when they change things, but I did enjoy the change, but I would have as much liked the alternative. So I'm sorry, Fox, I cut you off there.
No, I was going to say, I think that there's, because you two have extremely similar interests when it comes to the sci-fi stuff, I think there's potential for a little show for you to discuss them things down the road.
There might well be. There
is. I think there definitely is.
While we're tasting our whiskies.
Oh,
While
we
you're
could drink whiskey and talk sci-fi.
Okay.
So yeah, we're all kind of eagerly. I'm not even going to separate.
No, wait.
now.
Let's wait a second. We can still talk about the Expanse. I know some of us have read the books.
I'm not in a position to talk about the Expanse, I'm afraid. I'm still on. What season are we on now?
5.
I'm still on season 4, episode 1. So.
Oh my god! What a cliffhanger to leave it on. Why did they release 3 episodes?
I haven't watched all of season 5. I've only watched the first 2 episodes.
They've only released 3.
Oh, have they?
Yeah.
I haven't watched the 3rd episode then.
Oh my god! It's just. Like, I loved season 1, 2, and 3. 4 was a bit slow, and I understand why people didn't like it as much, but I loved it.
I just want to say, if you're gonna adapt a series of books for TV, then just go and hire whoever the fuck done the Expanse, because they've done it so well. It's
because the book. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, carry on.
I was just about to say, like, the books aren't like kind of what I said, but like what I said about Alter Carbon, but not as much. It's like they're just very not well written. It's kind of like Metro 2033. The concepts are there, but the English that they use for it isn't great. But then these guys come and go, this stuff, and then they just put it on the screen, and you go, I didn't even see that when I was reading the books, and that's just so much better. And it's just,
I love the books. I
thought the books were amazing.
I really love the books purely because of their pure physics viewpoint. Like, you know, if we're in space, this is how shit would work. This, you know, none of your fancy fucking sci-fi, simulated gravity. This is how it would work. You know.
Even the whole crack about sending messages backwards and forwards from Earth, it's like a week for it to get there or whatever. So, you know, it's mad stuff. Like, I watched it.
Go on,
sorry. No, I watched season 1 and I said, you know what? I might check out these books. And then I promptly read the 6 or 7 plus the novellas almost in the space of 2 or 3 months after. I thought they were amazing. I wouldn't hold any truck now with the idea that they're poorly written. I thought they were amazing.
I honestly did, and I didn't say, I meant to say this in the group chat through the week when we were talking about it, but I honestly think Amos is the best anti-hero ever. I love him. I love him in the books, and the actor that portrays him, his name escapes me at the moment, which is shockingly bad, but he portrays him so well, and
the
really does.
The really cool part of that was he read the books and he loved that character so much he went in and auditioned specifically for Amos.
Yeah,
and it's just good. And I totally get what you're saying about the science as well, because I love that science part of it. It's like it's just done so well. What I mean is by it's not well written is like the way the English is put together, like the phrases and so on, is just doesn't flow very well. but the concepts and what they do.
Well, that's the whole point of it, though, is that the Belters have their own patois.
I'm not talking about the languages.
The guys from Mars are all meant to sound like fucking redneck
Texans.
redneck Texans. The people from Earth are meant to be, oh man.
But no, none of that's not what I mentioned. So I'm maybe not explaining myself very well. Is like when he himself is describing something, you get the picture of it, but the language he uses isn't shall we say the best language to use to describe something, and it's just but at the same time it's a very good concept and it's a very cool world he's built. But I just feel like the way he explains something,
it's two guys that write the books.
Yeah. But what I really love about the books is that entire series. There's a pen and paper role playing game called Traveller, and that entire book series is actually based on one of their role playing series. They actually played a campaign. People went and they were kind of posting it to a blog, and people went, "Just make a really good book," and they went, "Hell, this really would make a good book." So and then it's just like becomes a book, then becomes a TV series. One of the best rated TV series ever on Rotten Tomatoes, and TV series that Netflix said, "Oh no, we don't want that."
I know,
and then they went and made that Night Flyers abomination, and it was just like, it's just you had the chance to buy the best sci-fi show out there, and they went, "No, we're good. We don't." No, why would we do that?
So I reckon then over the course of the Christmas break, I may have to catch up on the Expanse as well.
Oh, definitely.
I'm going to have no time to relax. I'm just going
so for Christmas, you have to max your level in Destiny. You have to do the 5 seasons of the Expanse. What is that?
Oh no! It's only one season and 3 episodes of the Expanse.
Oh, it's not too
I
bad,
just
though.
didn't watch episode for season 4. I started it and then I just didn't get a chance to finish it. But in fairness, I'll have time. I'll blitz through it. And what's in it? Like 12 episodes, 10 episodes. I'll blitz through it over 2 days.
Something like that, yeah.
I am going to move it on though because time is running away, and I'm going to move it on to quite a somber topic for anybody that's in the review end of things, which Hardware Unboxed was blacklisted and unblacklisted in the space of a couple of days by Nvidia for perceived grievances against certain aspects of their hardware and software. And I think the only reason, and I'm going to say this out loud, I think the only reason that the blacklist was pulled back was because the likes of Linus and Jays and while not yet, but it surely will come, Gamers Nexus, very, very vocal in their annoyance, shall we say, with what Nvidia did.
Well, yeah, this came like what, a week ago.
A week ago, yeah.
And, it popped up in my YouTube feed, the Linus video, like the way we are in the world. Linus records the wine show at about 3 o'clock in the morning. So I got up, turned on the old telly, and there was the wine show. And I stuck it on, and I have never, ever seen a Canadian so angry, I have to say.
You tough when a Canadian's gotten that angry at you.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think I posted it into our chat in WhatsApp straight away saying, "My God, this is something else." Yeah, I don't know. It was all a bit mad.
It's just the fact that they used hardware. I mean, this is from the same video, but just because it's the information I have on it. But they used Hardware Unboxed to praise for the features on their website, and then in their letter that they wrote to Hardware Unboxed, they said, "You're not concentrating on our features enough that we think is the future." And it's like, but you literally have it on your website saying he's praised, ray tracing and DLSS, and he says this, and then next thing he's just off the list for some reason.
Yeah, I suppose for anybody that doesn't know what we're talking about, Nvidia that make graphics cards and have a proprietary system called ray tracing. basically give out samples to reviewers. Hardware Unboxed is a team of 2 guys over in Australia, and
Just
they-
to caveat what you were saying
Oh.
there, Hardware Unboxed are reviewing Nvidia products for as long as Nvidia products are existing. Basically.
20 years.
And I will say, just as another add-on, it's not ray tracing is not proprietary to Nvidia. It's the DLSS that is.
DLSS. Sorry, yeah.
But ray tracing is very poor on AMD cards, so it's why
Yeah.
it's such a thing for Nvidia.
But basically, Nvidia got in touch with Hardware Unboxed via email and said, we don't, to paraphrase here, we don't like the way that you're not talking about ray tracing. Why do you keep talking about rasterization? Because of that, you're not going to get any
Review samples.
review samples of our cards. But don't worry, you can still get review samples from our board partners, which is bullshit, because the board partners have to give a list to Nvidia of who they're going to be sending their samples to.
Mhm.
And Nvidia can say yes or no on that list. So that's how it went down at the start of the week. Hardware Unboxed then tweeted Linus. Linus Tech Tips. Mick, you want to say anything about Linus Tech Tips?
Fuck Linus Tech Tips.
Not so much tech.
And he spent about 40 minutes of his show talking about it.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough. And then Jay's 2 cents. I respect Jay's 2 cents. I watch his videos. I love his videos. I know some of you don't
Jace
like him.
is Marmite. be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah, I don't
I love
I know
him.
you don't like him. I like him.
I do.
And
yeah.
I know him and Hardware Unboxed do not see eye to eye. But he came out and he released a video saying this is not on, you know? And of course, following all this pressure, Nvidia all of a sudden said, "Oh my god, that's not what we meant in our email. We're so sorry."
So to quote, it's the global marketing director Brian Del Rizzo, who was, now I don't know how much input he had into the original email.
He signed it though.
He signed
he
it.
signed it.
That's the thing.
He
He
looked
signed
at
it.
it, he
His
signed
name is
it.
at the bottom. His name is at the bottom. He rolled back, citing COVID fatigue. That was his excuse for such a poor attack on Hardware Unboxed. Now look, I'm gonna say I like Hardware Unboxed. I like Steve. I think he does great reviews on everything that he gets. Monitor reviews especially would be the one that I'd go to for him. I don't dislike Jay's as such. I disagree with a lot of what he says, and I think in some ways he can be a bit prickish. That's my opinion on him. But Jay's really came out swinging with his video. I watched his video and he came out hard, and I have to give him major respect because, like rightly, like you said, him and Steve do not see Steve from Hardware Unboxed do not see eye to eye in a lot of cases. But yeah, Brian Del Rizzo followed it up with an email just saying, sorry, I love seeing the way all the reviewers test and report on our products. I value your contributions, and suggesting that I would withhold samples because I didn't agree with your commentary is inexcusable. Crossed the line. He failed himself, his colleagues, and the amazing community of reviewers that he considers his friends. You all work so hard, blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm going to say this right now. I don't think that email would have come if Hardware Unboxed had never reached out initially to Linus.
Oh,
I think
not at all.
it's the pressure from Linus and the pressure from Jays.
Yeah.
And the scathing commentary that I'm sure will come from Gamers Nexus.
And I'll say this: if you want to laugh, go and look at Gamer Nexus's Twitter. from when this came out.
Yeah.
I meant to say this to all four of us. I think I only said it to Ronan, to Foxer. We should have all went through and picked our favourite Gamers Nexus tweet about this, because some of them were just brilliant, like just scathing of Nvidia, like, you know.
And I don't think it's terribly, and just for one second, I don't think it's terribly unfair to say that DLSS and Nvidia's take on ray tracing, they're not widely adopted by the industry.
They're
They're not, and they're not that fucking good. Let's be honest.
Well, DLS is pretty amazing for when it is. I mean,
when it works, it works, but when it doesn't work,
2.0 is the latest iteration of it. Is the first iteration was absolutely laughable. Like
1.0 was terrible. But the part about the email that was the most egregious was the fact that after they said, "Oh, you're not going to get it, and you might get it from the partner boards," they went, "We're always happy to review our stance on this if you change your stance on blah blah blah." Which basically their way of saying, start talking about ray tracing a lot more, even though he already has, and he has his own individual video for it.
And this is where we get into the meat of it. This is why Linus, Jay's 2 cents, Steve from Gamers Nexus are all getting upset about it, because they're trying to strong arm the reviewers into saying what they want, you know. And it's a massive fuck up, like, because like who's going to say yes, this is good, this is great, when it's not great, like, whether it is or not.
There's still like, the thing is like, if you're team red or team green or whatever, that's always weird for me, because it's like loyalty to a platform is a very strange thing in general. You should just go where the best is or what you can afford.
Exactly.
But it's still going to be, you know, team green people out there who currently are saying it. Oh, they have all the right to say this and all of this stuff. They make excuses for the corporation, like, and it's just
we live in very strange times. Like you see it with games the last couple of years, they're like, they've gone away from giving review copies to reviewers, they give them to YouTubers, they give them to someone else. They're essentially, they fly them out to warehouses for big events, like, and they get all this glowing recommendation because it's free publicity for the most part. Like,
well, it's moved away from print media. Like, it used to be the case that years and years and years ago, you had the games magazines, like the big games magazines, like Edge and Game Reporter or Game Informer. And those guys, those independent guys, they would be given the review samples early. Like you said, now it's moved over to YouTubers. And a lot of times when you're looking at, like, I saw a lot of videos of guys saying, "Oh, Black Ops is brilliant, we should all start playing this now," or "Cyberpunk is great," like absolutely shilling it. And I do believe that there's too much power given to these companies. People are afraid nearly to say, "No, wait a second, this is
shite."
Yeah,
like, I've not skin in the game, like, but have you seen the CD Projekt Red Twitter replies, like, the last week? Like, it's like you've got people calling him out, and you've got these simps then who are saying, like,
wait, you can't use that word anymore.
Get a better simpletons. Saying that just get a PC, what are you doing, like, playing at a PS4, like, what kind of peasant are you, like, do you know what, like, standing up, you joking me, like.
It's weird.
Meanwhile, sorry, Dan, just to cut you off there, but meanwhile, on Reddit, on many of the forums, they will say the best way to play what's it called? Fucking that game. Cyberpunk is on Stadia. Many people are saying that. Everybody's fucking ignoring it. There you go.
Just to, I know this is not in the minutes here, but yeah, Simp, Virgin, what was the other one? It's all now banned. Oh, sorry, not banned, but from Twitch. But you're not allowed to use the term Simp, Virgin, and Incel in a derogatory way. I don't even know
is there a complimentary way of it, like?
I'm not even sure what these words mean.
Oh man, that's so simps.
Like,
as far as I'm aware,
I get. Yeah. Virgin, I get. Simp.
To the best of my knowledge, simp is just short for simpleton.
Okay. Incel, which after a quick Google is
involuntary celibate. Yeah.
involuntary celibate. Yeah, which
That's a
you know,
that's a-
I'm as good as married. That's me. Yeah.
Involuntary celibate. What the flock?
Involuntary celibate is a guy, a young man who can't. He's nothing to offer to the ladies.
He's no
So I
road
said-
frontage.
He sits at home and rages against women on the computer. Is what he is.
Yeah, and basically
he's a
now
dickhead.
Yeah.
you're not
Right.
allowed to use this term on Twitch in a derogatory manner. It's not banned. No, everybody is now like, oh my god, Twitch have banned these terms. No, they've not. They've just said if you use these terms in a derogatory manner against someone, then you will, be against our terms of service.
What the fuck's that? I've never heard this before. Oh my god.
Oh, it
does-
came out yesterday or 2 days ago.
I
Yeah.
don't know. It's the term incel. I haven't never heard it before.
Well, you're obviously a simp.
Thankfully, not an incel though.
No. Look, lads, the whole world has gone PC mad, to be honest. And oftentimes in a
No.
completely ridiculous way.
Now, if I can just backtrack a little bit there. 2 days before, they banned the tag blind playthrough.
Oh yeah.
Why?
Because
Dennis, I can't see, man. Like, you're offending me.
Yeah, because blind people will get offended.
Well, it's not like they're watching Twitch.
Dude,
Dennis, like,
why are you so
Offensive.
offensive?
Because of my incel culture. I'm so looking forward to researching this. Like, I literally read the first 4 lines on Wikipedia going, oh my god, I'm going down the rabbit hole tonight.
all joking aside, right? Would you not agree that, like I said, the whole thing is gone PC mad, and in a lot of cases, it's a bit overboard.
And not the cool PC, like personal computing.
No.
No.
No, yeah. I agree with you, Foxer. It's just the world
however-
we live in. I don't want to say something in case we get cancelled because we're old. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're boomers.
Cancel culture might knock us out.
But see, the great thing about cancel culture, most of those platforms that you try to cancel you on, I haven't even heard of. Like this TikTok that you just talked about, or the new Grumpy
Oh, yeah.
Bros. It's like,
Oh yeah, we have a TikTok now. Yeah.
We do.
as far as I can tell, it's just YouTube but shorter.
A lot shorter, yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of That's yeah, TikTok, YouTube, but shorter.
I just literally the synopsis. I just all right. Once again, just my oldness kicks in and going, I don't get it.
Right. So to move on. Happy Christmas.
Happy Christmas!
thankfully.
Anybody got any gets on their wish list for Christmas? Any Christmas special lists?
Sleep.
Sleep.
No.
Lots and lots.
A nice bottle of whiskey.
Right. Actually, I'm getting a hurl and a slitter. I haven't had one in ages. Looking forward to that.
I've seen you with those. You need a license to wield those.
I've often had a good hurl after some whiskey.
It's a waste of good whiskey, then, isn't it?
To be honest.
My Christmas wish list is to not have to do any work for about 2 weeks. But I feel like all the things that I've said I'm going to do for the 2 weeks is going to feel like work. So there we go. That's it. But yeah, no, look, it'll be good. Hopefully, for the course of the time off is always a nice thing. Looking forward to that. And speaking of looking forward to, anybody looking forward to anything in particular over the Christmas period?
Not really. Just a break and recharge the batteries, to be honest. That's about it.
To be honest, Christmas Day. We've already discussed that. No, the main thing one of the big things I was looking forward to this year was Dune, and that's been put back till next year. HP, and we've also covered that as well. So
Watch it in a home. Comfort your own home.
woo!
Yeah.
I will say I'll hope for a slightly better internet connection because there's a delay here and I keep talking over people.
That's what I wish for, a better internet connection.
Want to get yourself some Cyro, lad.
I can't. It's annoying.
I might wrap it up there, boys. Just with a little bit of any other business, and I'm going to turn over to Mr. Stone XB for this one, who has skin in this game, I believe.
Yes, so the plan is for between now and New Year's that we're going to get together and have a bit of a review of the year, the annus horribilis that it was. But we'll try and inject a bit of humour in our own inimitable way. So hopefully that'll drop New Year's Day when everyone's recovering from their big bowls of leftovers and whiskies and beers and everything else. So tune in for that. That bit of a game show form. No, not a game show. More like mock the week, kind of an informal chat show with a few slides, bits and pieces. But stick around and it'll be a bit of laugh. I hope.
Jeer the year instead of mock the week.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to recording it, I'll be honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Should be
I
good.
think it should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. And hopefully it's a format that we can continue with.
Indeed.
So yeah.
Keep having-
This is probably going to be our longest one. Yeah. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're at 2.5 hours now, so
fair play to us for being able to talk shite for 2.5 hours.
Jeez, I'd go another 2.5.
I'd say
Yeah. warmed up now.
Jesus, let me get another beer and we'll just
Yeah.
carry on.
Yeah.
I can't. I'm going out for dinner tonight. My second
wow.
my second dinner out this year, I believe.
Wow.
So that is
Wow. What are you going to have?
we're going for an Indian.
Get myself
was
down in
amazed.
Cork going out for dinner.
Thank you to all the subscribers and all the viewers for 2020 since we started this little journey. We hope,
Made it this far through this video.
yeah. We hope to see you all in the new year. Again. Bring your friends. If you enjoy the content, a thumbs up on the video and spread the word is always greatly appreciated. If you want to hit the little notification bell so that you know when we upload, that would also be massive. So as we say, we should have a review of the year within the next 2 weeks. So keep an eye out for that. And with that said, it is a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. And a happy Christmas from me.
There you go. Happy Christmas. Goodbye. See ya.
And a happy Christmas and goodbye from me.
Humbug.